We are live. What up, people? We are the RWO. That's me, LMK Ken, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. My buddy Nick over there, 666, and we got Dragos rolling with us. We're going to start doing lives every week. We are the Reptile World Order. I'm a wrestling fan, and I kind of just want to do a T-shirt that looks like the NWO. So we're just going to do RWO. That's the whole reason why I want to do this. But let's do some quick shout-outs. We already got 4 people in for our first show right off the bat. That is not too bad for episode number 1 starting out. But Buddy Biggs, what up, dude? This guy, I mean, he's from like the kind of the adventure community, the gold tanning community and stuff. And I met him through, I think, Nessie or something, one of these rooms I get into and talk to. I like their accents, so I like to go in these forums ones and talk to them because I like their accents. But I met up with him, and I want a T-shirt and some stickers off of him. Thanks for your support, buddy. There's Nick. This guy, he's an asshole. Don't listen to him.
Not me, man.
Morbid, what's up, dude? How's it going? Thanks for coming in. My boy Gage Clown Scientist. That dude there, he's just a cool dude.
His logo's badass. His artwork is
Holly,
badass.
I mean, how could you not like Holly?
How the hell, Holly, I want you to comment, how in the hell did you have to get the rights for that freaking sandworm snake from Beetlejuice?
Sandworm.
That motherfucking logo is fucking dope, man.
Hey, Michaela, I hope everything's going well with the baby. Hope it pops soon. Hope everything's all right. Next Mardi Gras, when? When is it? I like that name. What up? Thanks for coming in.
Mardi Gras, what's going on?
Miss Nicole?
All about that Mardi Gras.
How's it going? Thanks for coming in.
We're going to start throwing rats off the floats, bro.
Mitzi? What's up, Mitzi? Mitzi, this is, you know me and Nick, and below us is Drago's Pythons. So, I mean, just to introduce him. Don't seem like you know him. But all right, so what we want to start out talking about next is where we left off on the LMK, show, the Let Me Know show the other night. And that's Frozen Thawed Alive. I did some research, guys. I did. I've been reading up on this because, honestly, my phone's been blowing up for the last 2 days over this shit. And it comes down to husbandry. It comes down to husbandry, dude. Like, no matter which way you look at it, I mean, live.
It's operator error. Error is what you're saying, yeah.
Yes. If you feed live and you do something stupid, like leave a rat in there overnight, you're taking the chance of like your snake getting ate up. If you try to defrost a rat and you leave it set out for hours before you give it to your rat and you're not defrosting them right, you're taking a chance of hurting your rats. So, I mean, this is my conclusion. Nick, how you feel about it? What up, Brave Adventure? Thanks for coming in.
The whole thing that I was saying in the first place was I don't like to film it and put it on YouTube or on social media or whatever. That was my whole thing. As a person, that's how I feel. Like I said, I don't hate on anybody that does it. Drago's my homie, and he be posting that shit daily.
Right?
I don't like it, but he's a fucking man, and I'm not gonna, like I told Shane, I'm not gonna try to hinder nobody's rights. What the hell would I be if I did that? But
right,
I don't like it, and I was trying to say the whole time
10 people up in here
that I couldn't, if you feed a frozen thawed rat to a snake, it would have to be you or the breeder that bred the rat that did something wrong.
Yeah.
My whole thing was there is nothing better nor worse than feeding a frozen thawed or alive.
Bud Fowls, what's up?
And I wanted to be, I wanted everybody on that chat, everybody in that live to know that I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was just trying to be a dick. Yeah, I was just trying to say that I don't think that it matters as long as everything is copacetic. If you throw a live rat in there, you have to watch it. Like I said, I have snakes that eat live. It sucks. But if you breed snakes, your hatchlings ain't going to eat live. I mean, they're not going to eat frozen thawed right off the rip. They have to have live. And that's just something that has to happen. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't try to get every single snake that I have to eat frozen thawed, because that's what I want to do. I like to sell snakes to people that can go to the store and buy a frozen rat. you know, instead of having to worry about feeding a live rat, because a lot of people don't like that. And I feel it turns people off more when they see that, like the public image, not people that keep reptiles, because we all know reptiles eat live animals. I mean, we all eat live animals to an extent. So, you know, I'm not going to dispute that. I'm a meat eater. I'm not a vegan. So,
right.
But the whole argument about the body decays at a certain temp, you know, a certain time, 10 minutes or whatever, I think was said, you know, that may be true. But when you get your cow, or you
Yeah,
get your
how long does that
steak,
mean?
yeah, when you get your steak from the grocery store, where it came from is not, they're not butchering it and putting it and flash freezing it, and it's frozen within 10 minutes. That's all I was trying to say.
Right.
It's all about how it's prepared, and if you prepare it right, then there's no why would there be a bad thing about it? I mean, what is the that is the worst thing that could happen feeding frozen thawed. The breeder doing a mistake for the rats before you get them, or
Yes.
you doing a mistake. That's it.
Yes.
Peace,
Drago,
love.
I got a couple more things to touch on that, but I want Drago's input on this. So live, frozen thawed, you wasn't there to see everything that went down, but what's your take on it all?
I agree with Trip on that. You know, a lot of people
Correct.
are leaning towards the frozen thaw. You know, the only reason that I really got into breeding the rats is because I had over 10 snakes. So I was like, look, it's just time for me to start breeding my own rats. And the only reason I do feed live is because I also have crested geckos, I have fish, I have a chameleon, I got frogs. So it's easier for me to go in there with a bucket of live rats and throw them in a tub. And y'all see my sticker method that I use. So I never leave them unattended. And I always remember about them, you know. But on the
Right.
other aspect of it, there's young adults getting into it and stuff and want to have their first pet. And like Trip said, they can only go to the store to purchase it, you know. So that's why I'm about to bring to the market as well some frozen thaw.
Heck yeah. So, all right, Nick, what I kind of wanted to touch on with what you was saying is you said something about our image. And like, honestly, people out there, we got to start working on how we're looked at as keepers and doing like, learn husbandry. Like your best husbandry habit you can learn. It's important, more important than how you feed frozen or thawed. Like your husbandry is everything, and I'm starting to learn that. I'm brushing up my shit, but image. Like we need to really start worrying about the image, like what we're putting out. Like I'm starting to see it as I got to try to make a person that don't like these reptiles attracted to them.
100%.
And I think if we all kind of just lean that way, and I know it's not going to be possible to get everyone to go that way, but if we lean that way, I mean, it got to help because these people that sit behind desks in suit and tie that, are pinky high, they ain't going to care unless we're showing them that, hey, we do care and we're trying to clean up our image.
Well,
what you guys think about image?
I think I'll always be a firm believer in this, and it doesn't matter what anybody says, and it just is what it is. But I mean, I don't have a problem with people doing it, but I just don't like the way it's perceived by people outside of the community. Like for instance, like people like you said that don't like snakes at all. Like I know people at work that if a little bitty baby hatchling garter snake gets in their yard, they're going to kill it immediately, and that's messed up. And to me, like the thing with filming, excuse me, and
it happens, Mitzi.
Is I feel it's not wrong because you are documenting something, but I don't think that it's not like the wild. I don't like that argument because this isn't the wild, and I mean,
no.
Anybody could attest that this isn't the wild, and we're breeding these snakes and we're trying to get people to like them because we want to sell them. And if we can't sell them because there's laws being tried to make, they're trying to make the laws and shit that we ain't gonna be able to have them. And if we can feed frozen thawed, or at least if you feed live and you film it, maybe just don't film the strike. I mean, maybe if you feed it wrapped up, I mean, I don't know, I'm trying not to be like that guy, and I don't want to come off as I'm trying to tell somebody what to do. That's just my opinion. I would rather it be something a little less graphic, because it's not, I mean, anybody can get on the internet, the internet, and like kids, you know, just anybody, and they can see that, and it might turn a kid off. Other than someone feeding a frozen thawed or showing that process, and the kid
Right.
being like, "Oh well, it was already dead. It's no different than me eating chicken nuggets out of the freezer." And that's how I'm looking at it in that sense. But I varied the diets. I mean, I don't just feed rats anyway. I mean, but everything I feed is frozen except for, like I said, my hatchlings, and maybe like that pod that I was, talking to Drago about.
Right.
That breeder male, he will only eat live. Sometimes I can, after a couple meals alive, about the third meal I offer him can be frozen thawed, and it'll trick him. But after he realizes, after he ate it, what it was, you had to do it again live, and a couple more that only like live. But for the most part, that's it. And I don't like doing it, but I'm just not going to film it because I don't want people to associate any kind of negativity or negative thoughts towards snakes.
Exactly.
I got a big lizard, and it's, he eats meat. He is a carnivore. You know what I'm saying? And I feed him all kinds of stuff, chicks, whatever we got, chicken, whatever, quail, rats, mice. But I can't even film giving him a frozen one because it's brutal. I mean, he's slinging guts everywhere and blood and everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't, and that's why I don't post any of that, because even though it's frozen thawed, it's brutal. But I'll film a feeding from a frozen thawed to a snake, because to me, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to push that. Like when I sell a snake to somebody, I'm like, yeah, they're eating frozen thawed. You don't have to worry about it. You do not have to worry about nothing. You go to PetSmart. I know you got a PetSmart where you live, right? Yeah. Go down there and get you a box of freaking rats, man. Eat once a week, every 7 days. They'll be like, hell yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah,
right?
make it easy.
But it's all about personal opinion, I guess.
All right, Dragos, what do you think about Image Dude? Do you think we need to start working on it? Like, trying to maybe sway these asshole politicians to like, hey, we're trying. So, lean our way. We'll lean them back.
100%. You know how you put yourself out there is going to portray people to think certain, aspects about you, whether it's feeding live, whether it's how you're keeping, your snakes, or whatever the case may be, how you're keeping the rats, because I get a lot of comments about that too, because I got them, I got two females and one male in a tub, and you get comments about that. Oh, you don't think they should be in a bigger house, this and that. So,
oh, come on now. Everyone in the world does it like that.
Right.
Well, not everyone, but a majority of the people.
100%. So how you got to watch what you're posting and what you're showing. So.
Right. Well, that's where this whole conversation basically stems from, because I was like a 960 or something like that, and I posted a live feeding. I mean, I pulled the drawer out, and like I could tell the snake wanted it, and it wasn't happening like real fast. So I just leisurely got my camera, recorded it, and then I posted it. And then Nick calmly got a hold of me and said, "Hey, I don't like that." And we could talk about this and disagree about something and not, have a problem about it. And I was like, well, I appreciate that. And it really got me starting to look into it. Then it really got me starting to think about the image of things. And I think I'm going to make a more conscious attempt to feed at least freshly killed, because when I go to my rat breeder that is 5 miles down the road, he can nitrogen for me. He could just gas them off and bring them home, 5-10 minute drive, and feed them. And I think I'm going to make more of a conscious, I'm going to try more. I'm going to see if I can get some transferred over.
I mean, a lot of people
But
should,
Mitzi,
go over to frozen. You should go over to frozen thaw as well, because they're not seeing behind the scenes, like, because the reason I did the YouTube and stuff, is to share my journey and stuff. But
yeah,
the only reason I have so many subscribers is because of a live feeding. If you go back on my channel and look, like 400,000 views, 300,000.
Yeah, I wanted some traction.
200 there's, you know what I'm saying, and that's what I posted. You get more views, this and that. But a lot of people need to go to more frozen thaw because they don't see behind the scenes. Like there's been plenty of times, dude. I was in my house chasing a rat around the snake room.
Yeah.
Now I have everything blocked off, but still, the snake rats aren't light to move.
No.
So
I got a rat running around my house right now.
Right, you'll go check on them and open it up, and they'll come out. I mean,
if you
Mitzi has one. Hold up, Nick. Mitzi has one that won't eat. It took. Let me see exactly what it says so I don't mess this up. But we was talking about how some. Hold on, Mercedes. Just about she wouldn't eat for 2 feedings with frozen thawed rat. Then the next time she took a frozen thawed mouse. So how it helps. She was going to eat this frozen thawed mouse this time. She didn't eat this week. So it's about just keep trying. Keep trying next week. You ain't got to try every day. If you don't eat this week, try next week. I mean, I still feed live, and I said I'm going to try to do frozen thawed a little bit more. But what I do personally is I leave that mouse in there for about 10 minutes. If my snake don't eat, I take it out, and then it don't see another rat till the next feeding time, which is a week. I don't worry about it.
Well, the whole image thing, like Drago was saying, people don't know about behind the scenes. And he said he was chasing a rat around the house, and that sucks. But a lot of these people aren't like doing the way you're doing it. They're not going to be. They're going to see somebody feeding alive, and that's all they're going to watch, and they're going to end the video. You know, they it might not be chasing a rat around. It might be they leave it in there for too long, not thinking about it because they're pet owners or, they're new to it. And then they go in there and that snake is like got bites, chunks taken out of it, or, it could go blind. It could bite its eyes, or, anything can happen. And I'm not saying that and that's what I'm saying. Like you said, something about behind the scenes, all the stuff that you have to do to make sure that doesn't happen. It's a lot goes into it, right? And they don't know that. So to do the frozen thawed thing, if they see that, there's nothing that is going to harm that snake unless it's a user error. But I mean, we're arguing semantics at this point. Like let's say you can read instructions on a box of frozen rats. You can do it. I mean, it's pretty damn self-explanatory. You heat the rat up, it's thawed out, you feed it. But people don't understand what can happen because people don't show videos of that's the thing is
how to properly heat up a rat. That needs to be a video out there.
Yeah, well, there are. I mean, there's books in it. I mean, it says it on the package. And when you buy the rats from PetSmart, it literally tells you instructions on how to prepare it. But what I'm saying is not everyone wants to show videos of their snake eating a live rat because it gets a lot of views. But nobody is going to show a video of what that rat did in there with that snake after being left.
Thanks for coming in, Tammy.
They're not going to do that. And that to me, if you're going to be transparent, well, it might not ever happen. I'm not saying it happens to everybody. What I'm saying is you never see that, but that is the reality of that. It will happen. I mean, it's not like they could take a chunk out, but I mean, I got snakes that I've bought from breeders that are really good and healthy. And, they're not ugly from scars or chunks taken out of them, but you can see scars on them. And that is from a rat biting the shit. I know you've been bitten by a rat, Drago. That shit hurts.
No, and that's what I wanted to touch on next because what Ken brought up to me was valid, and I've wanted to do this. And the only thing that's been stopping me at this point is just to where I'm going to get it from, the CO2 and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I got to give me a little cylinder, and I'm going to do that. And I was thinking about Ken, like, whenever I do feeding day, say Thursday, I'm going to do 14, right? So what I'm going to start doing is coming in here, corn them off, go in there and feed them, right? If they don't eat, we'll go ahead and dispose of them rats. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put them into my sale collection, but whatever rats I know that's going to eat that night, I'm going to start doing that once I get the setup up, because
What
like
up,
you
Blue?
said, they don't see behind the scenes trip. When I feed 14 rats to these 14 snakes, right? There's one time, and I feel bad because you got a rat that's biting a snake, and I'm not gonna let that happen. I gotta twist their head, and it's not cool, right? And another one, when they get out, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'll pick the rat up, and when you're chasing a rat, it's different. I can reach in here and pick one of these rats up and just hold them. But let
Yeah,
this
but chase
same
that
rat
motherfucker what's on the ground running.
Not
let
that
this same
large.
rat get struck by a snake twice and then
Yeah.
take off on the floor and run. He bit me so hard I slammed him up against the wall. And you evidently feel bad about that as a person, right?
Yeah, because you love
So
animals.
come on, and I do. I
Yeah,
love
I
my
know.
rats and I love my
I know.
snakes. And
We're
for me
doing
to
good,
have to
look. We're
do
doing
that,
good.
I want to do what Ken's saying and what you're saying is just cut that out, and do a more sane,
I know. We
experience.
talked about it. That's why you're doing the rat breeding and you're buying a freezer. And I wanted to tell you a little real quick. You've done HVAC work before?
Yes, sir.
I have.
Okay, the CO2 gun. You stick it in the condensate line and press the
What up,
button.
Lakers?
Got the little CO2 cartridges that you like use for paintball.
That's what
That
I was
will
gonna
work.
do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna go to the what's that store called? The
I mean,
Academy. The
anybody, any
Academy,
of the Home Depots.
and
Yeah.
get the adapter and then put it on the bicycle plug or
Hmm.
whatever, and get a smaller container and do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I've been
because
watching the videos. Get a nice little seal
mhm.
on it. Yeah.
A lot of people just put them in the freezer, and it's like, dude, that is like, first of all, that's
Nah.
inhumane as shit,
Yeah, that's.
and
I don't.
second of all, it's like
Oh, I've
that.
looked it up. Trip. There was a jig that people are using with like an X and just putting their heads in there and just popping them.
And I've bought frozen rats like that before, and I don't buy them from that person no more because it
Right.
was, first of all, when you can get a rat with its head cut off, and it's like, what am I
Right.
supposed to do? And you lose money on the rat because you spent so much money. But yeah, I didn't like that method. I didn't like seeing it after they were dead. I couldn't imagine what happened, and I actually touched on those people and told them, that
Right, and then you're
they
paying
kind of
$2,
had a weird.
$3 a rat, and it's like you gotta
What up,
Well,
Smith?
we
decapitated rat.
threw, yeah, we threw like a whole bag of them away just because they had a smell. And people, that's the main thing. You're not going to eat smelly ass chicken.
Why are
Don't
you
feed
going to
your
feed
snake.
your snake
I
smelly
mean,
ass rat?
you're okay. Well, I take that back. The rats and the mice do stink frozen. They do because they're rodents. But I'm just saying, like, you're not going to do that. You know what's good for you and what's bad for you. And once you get enough bags of rodents from a good source, you know what a bad smell is. I mean, they
Right.
Yeah,
smell bad.
I'm lucky.
No.
I could say that, and I'm very thankful for Chris Robinson from CNR Reptiles out of State College, Pennsylvania. Like that dude, he's on Morse Market. He hooks me up with my rats, and thank God for Chris because I mean he takes care of me. He really
Just
does.
step away for 1
Go ahead,
second.
dude. But up in the comments, probably I don't know about 100 comments ago or whatever. But Morbid, I'm not going to scroll up. Morbid said he's gotten bad rodents from PetSmart, and I don't know if any of you guys have come across bad rodents. I'm just very fortunate that I have a rodent guy, and my rodent guy is very cool to me. He's like cheap enough to where it's not even worth breeding the rats for me. You
No,
know,
I believe it, Ken. I've been to the PetSmart. At my lunch breaks. You can ask my wife. I go to the PetSmart. I like to explore, right? So I like to
yeah,
get out,
right.
look, see if maybe
I
there's
go look around.
right? And I'm looking in the freezer and stuff, and sometimes you can smell like what Trip's talking about
What
as
up,
far as
Dave?
a good smell of a frozen thawed and a bad smell, right?
Yeah,
And I was in there, and they're like, "Oh, well, can I help you with something?" I'm just looking, like getting the prices and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely on how you do it too. Because if you're just putting them all in there and you're not changing the bedding when you're gassing them off, and they're all just peeing and pooing all in the same thing, and you're not cleaning that pee and poo off before you go ahead and bag your rodents to prep them for the freezer, before you zip them up, and
yeah. Like you don't know
vacuum them
what
down.
that. You got to know what product you're buying. Like if you're buying frozen thawed, you got to trust that person is doing it right because they could definitely screw up your snakes.
And also, you don't want to buy from too big of a company, you know, because you don't know how the people are handling their snakes. It's just like anybody else working in the world, right? Just because Pam's
Cool.
not on your ass at work, a lot of people don't do what they need to do, right? So you also need to know the person and how they're keeping their rats, you know. And if one dies in one bin that I have going on, you know, everything in there is washed and put into another bin, you know. No
Lakers, we don't have a
harassment,
problem with that. I
none of
only
that.
feed live. Sorry, Dragos. I thought you was done, bud. Go ahead.
No, you good?
But Blakers, I only feed live. I mean, you know,
I'm
it's
not
to each
saying it's
his
bad.
own. It's
No.
not. We're not trying to sit there and call anyone out. We got both sides of the board. I mean, Drago's feed live too. I mean, but
I'm
we are
outnumbered.
going
I'm
to make a
outnumbered.
conscious. Yeah, right. We're going to make a conscious attempt to start, and
Handicap.
it really needs to be a quality rat, and you really got to do the process right, and that's what we're saying. And it's not like it's hard. It might be a little time consuming, but is it worth it?
And
And
that's
like,
all
you know, with the
opinion.
whole image thing, to me, it is. Well, anyways, so how's your guys like, Drago? You just started breeding, right?
Yes, sir.
How's your locks coming? How's your pairing?
Uh, to be honest with you, I've just laid off of it for a while. You know, I've been more focused on these rats and
All
getting
right,
them up and going. We have had a bunch of locks, you know, but I haven't really been doing anything else because one of my known my first girl, Nagini,
yeah,
which is the albino pinstripe, we locked her what 6 times, and she went off of food, and she went off of food for what? It's been a month and a half already, and I don't want
it's
to pair
coming,
her anymore just in case it'll keep her off of food longer, right? Just like Trip said, I'm new to it, so I don't know the whole gist of how they're gonna mate and when they're gonna lay
right?
eggs and stuff. So at this time, she stopped eating for me for a good solid month. So I'm not gonna keep putting the mail in and stress her out even more under what I'm
Right.
observing at this moment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of backed up off of that until I can see her start eating again. And then it
My
gets you
first
right
clutch,
at 1,800 grams, you know?
my first clutch. That girl went off food for 4 months before she laid. I thought she reabsorbed, and it was a total shock. I opened that drawer up, and I was like, "What? She's laying on fucking eggs."
And did you keep pairing at that time after she went off
No,
food?
she wasn't paired. Like that was the Xanthic Het Lab. See what happened with her. And I guess there could be a chance that the leopard clown got her, but he was slipped in right at the end. And I just don't think there was enough time to affect the clutch. It was only like maybe 30 days, a good 30 days before she laid, like 30, 32 days, something like that, 4 or 5 weeks. So I don't think that that's enough time. Is it? I don't know.
Beats me.
So
Enough
we'll
time for
find
what?
out. But otherwise, they're going to be snows. So I'm going to be able to tell who the dad was because it was a Xanthic het VPI to a VPI het Xanthic. But
Right.
that leopard clown, if he's the dad, you know, nothing's going to be recessive. I might be able to see if Grimm's in it. So if I come out with a Grimm het clown het Xanthic, I'm going to be like,
Let me know.
woohoo!
I'll be sending you the address.
Yeah, right. I take that. So it's all in see what I get. So I'm excited about it. It's coming up too. My cut day is like first day I could cut is September 3rd. So I'm like, come on, September 3rd. Let's get here. What
How
up,
many
Elias?
days is it? 57?
That's my day 55. September 3rd is my day 55. And I'm going to look at them. If they're starting to dimple, I'm going to cut. If they're still solid and not dimpling at all, then I'm not cutting them until like day 57. I'm going to give them 2 days.
And see, that's another crazy topic that people get so bent out of shape about is when to cut the eggs. And it's like, God, man, it's like if you do it and you're responsible about doing it and you do what works for you, cut them 55. Like if you want to wait till they pit, wait till they pit. If you want to wait till they're dimpled, wait till, you know what I'm saying? Like do what you want to do, because in a sense like that, nobody knows the exact time to cut an egg because so many different variables come into this. Science, this is all science, right?
Science, yeah.
So,
It's
yeah,
all the science of
science,
it.
that's right, in biology. And science evolves every second. Nothing is set in stone. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get mad at somebody for having an opinion, first of all, but you can't try to argue and say that it's 100% right or wrong because shit
Right?
changes so much. Just like we talked about,
You was
you
anxious,
know,
wasn't you?
people use aspen and people use cocoa fiber. Depending on who you talk to, they're going to bash the other one. You know, some people
Yeah.
cut at 55, some people wait till they pit. Depending on who you talk to, they're going to bash each other. What we need to start doing is just be more open minded and take people's and be constructive about your criticisms. Don't be a jerk,
Yeah.
but take it for what it is if it's respectful, and try
Don't be a
to
dick.
comment. Yeah, try to make it. If it, Just try it. Like if I tell somebody to feed frozen thawed and they don't want to at least just try it, to me that's messed up. Because if somebody tells me feeding live is better, and there's like kind of facts about why and this and that and the other,
That's
then I'll try to feed live to certain snakes and feed frozen thawed to other ones and see what happens. But I mean, at the same time, it's all subject to being like in that controlled situation. You've got different atmospheres, different temperatures, different humidities in everybody's collection, and it's just too hard to say, well, this is facts for every ball python on the planet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't
And that,
preach bullshit.
Right. I have a few snakes inside Trip. Like a lot of people, they won't eat frozen thaw. The snake's not eating. I'm waving it in his face, right? Right. They're always concerned. Oh, he's not eating frozen thaw. But then when I throw a live one in there, he eats it, right? But
yeah.
I can testify to that because I fed both frozen thaw and live. And there's a few snakes in there, like 6 of them in there. And if I have a frozen thaw and it's at the right temperature, I don't even have to do that. I open the tub, throw it in there, literally come back 8 minutes later, and it's gone. And you're thinking to yourself, hey, it didn't disappear, right? It ate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
So you don't have, and it's not, it don't have to be drawn out and set to be so hard on feeding you frozen thaw at all, because some of them you just don't even have to wait, just throw it in there and they will smell it and come and eat it.
Yeah, I kind of, that's what I've always done. Like jiggled at them, let them seed it, and set it down like maybe 6 inches from them, and then shut the drawer. And I just had no luck, And then so I tried to make them dance in front of them, and give me a kiss, and then they don't want nothing to do with it. Then, you know what I mean? Like
the majority of mine strike.
I just failed at feeding frozen thawed majorly.
I do have a couple that I can just throw it in there and they'll eat it, but the majority of mine's, they snatch it.
I got 2 that'll do that.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is, man.
And then, like Trip, once you've been feeding your frozen thaw for so long, you're probably to the point where you can pull out the drawer and you have the tones and they're trying to get it, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it's a repetitive cycle, right? Just like
they're on a schedule. Like
I agree with what Dave's saying there.
At a certain time,
I don't know if you guys see that. I agree.
You're coming in there to feed them, so they know. They know they're on that schedule.
Yeah, no, I mean David, that's his name. David says that Synergy. Who was that? Yeah, he made the perfect point, and that's why I do what I do. Because in a standpoint of somebody buying a snake, like most of the people that buy snakes from me are pet owners, I would imagine.
Right.
And like just recently, I think breeders have started buying snakes from me, but it's really just pet owners, like kids and adults and teenagers that have never had snakes. And what he's saying is correct. For me to sell that snake, I want to make it as easy as possible. Like I don't want somebody calling me saying, oh, well, this snake, it's not eating. It's been 3 months. You did something wrong, Nick. Why ain't my snake eating? You lied or whatever. I don't even want to have to deal with that. So if they're eating frozen thawed, for me, they're going to eat it for anybody if their conditions are right. So that's easy. That's an easy yes for me. I mean, I'm going to continue to feed frozen thawed because, like David said, it's easy to sell a frozen thawed eating snake. Other than me saying, "Well, it's beautiful and it's only $100," but
it only
you
eats
have
live.
to be it only eats live. And
I'm going to
I'm
just try
sorry.
my hatchlings like straight from frozen thawed.
Well, I try. I do. I offer every hatchling when it comes out and sheds. I offer it frozen thawed, and I have, like I said the other night, the other night, a couple nights ago,
Yeah, we
out of
sure do,
all
dude.
like 20 something that I have hatchlings this year, only like maybe two or three. Three is being generous, so I would say like two. Eight
I
frozen
have
thawed right
females
off.
like that. My males don't want to eat. My females, like as soon as I put that rat in there, that rat don't even have a time to think. You know what I mean? It's over. They're right up under the throat and done. Because I'll have them by the tail with hemostats, and I'll set them down like pretty close to their face, and them females just whap every time.
And
Every
y'all were
time.
talking about, I think Drago was talking about if he has a female go off food, he'll stop
Yes, I
introducing a
will.
male,
Thanks for
and
tip gauge. I don't know if Big Mike's still in here, but Big Mike, I'll be hitting you up and asking you for some pointers.
and Drago was talking about how he has females go off of food, and a lot of females do go off, but I feel like I probably have two females that go off for a long time. Once they're starting to ovulate and everything, they're starting to get eggs. But the majority of my females eat the whole time through pregnancy. They never stop, and then they keep eating right after they lay eggs, like the next day.
See, like,
But it these, and I was gonna ask because I don't breed my females unless they're big, stout, And I know some people breed like really low grams, and I'm just wondering if going off of food could have something to do with their weight and that they're trying to breed. And I don't know because I've never, the only ones that I've ever had go off of food are like the first time breeders that are on the small side. But like I said, I don't try to breed anything I don't want to do it under 2,000 to be
It's
honest. But I like 3,000 gram, 3,500 gram females. That's what,
dude,
to me,
my
that's
blade
egg
triple
laying.
het. Oh my God, let me go get that girl. This girl is huge. She hasn't laid yet. I think she's gonna be my next one. But let me go get you that girl and show you her. I haven't really showed her up close, and I was looking at her today, cleaning her tank out, and man, I weighed her 2,200 grams.
Oh yeah,
She's a monster, dude.
until it gets like three.
Well, I think Annabelle is bigger though. You just can't do much with Annabelle because she's flighty and hissy and jerky. But I'll be right back. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
that albino that we had hatch out them eggs or lay them eggs the last one to lay, she didn't even lose hardly any weight because she was so big. I mean,
really.
seriously, I seen her like a couple nights before, and I told Morgan, I said she's fixing to lay eggs. I said, I bet you, but we weren't really thinking she was because I mean, she's always so big. Who knows? Whatever. We don't have an ultrasound machine or nothing. So I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, yeah, she's ready. And then I'll be damned, she didn't lay eggs. And when I picked her up, she was empty, but she is just so big and girthy that she wasn't really concave, really a lot. She was concave for being wrapped around her eggs, but
Right.
then when I pulled her off, she was round, and I was like, that's a big ass girthy animal. You know what I mean? I don't want to breed something that's too small that when it lays its eggs, it looks like a freaking yearling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why I stopped pairing her trip because she was 1750 when I first started pairing her. And my goal was to get her over like 2200 before she stopped eating, right? To be able
Yeah,
to breed. But once I seen
yeah,
that she stopped eating and she was only 1800 grams and she didn't make it to the 2000 gram mark, that's when I pulled back the reins and was like, look, this is my first ball python I ever purchased. It's not worth it to me to risk that snake to do that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And I will say that if you get them too big, Like if they're too, like if they're just massive, way too big, and you breed them, I feel like that has something to do with egg binding. Because our biggest female we had, I mean, she was a monster. She still is. She's fucking ferocious, massive, and she had to go to the vet because she got egg bound. You know what I
Really?
mean? She was so big, and I've been reading about it, and it says a lot of it says they're fat. They're too fat. But see, we got her from a pet owner that had her for a few years, and they didn't breed her, so I guess they wasn't worried about just feeding the shit out of her. And yeah, she was massive, and we bred her. With, you know, we didn't think that she was that big or too big.
What up, Pat?
She
Thanks for
got
coming in,
Oh,
dude.
Pat.
and you know, I think that had something to do with it. So it's a matter of finding that fine weight, that fine line with the weight. You know what I'm saying?
She was 1,450 grams when I started pairing her in January of this year.
See, to me, I could never breed that under. To me, in my room, that's underweight.
Yeah,
I'm not, but that's what I'm saying. I've heard of people doing it at like 1,200 and stuff, and I wasn't
Trip, I've heard
I
of
wasn't
pairing them
taught like
after
that.
1,000 grams. You
Oh
know?
yeah, but
I'm gonna
yeah,
put her back.
I was never told that. I've always was told when I got into this, the female 3 years old at least 3 years old, and at least 1,500 grams, and that is like
1,500
at
grams.
at
Yeah.
least.
And
But
that's
like
just to start pairing them for
2,000,
the first lot.
yeah.
Like this would be the
2,022 is a
yeah.
great weight. Yeah, if you do 2,200 grams, then I mean, I'm sure you get more eggs too. I mean, I don't know. I never did it that small, but
No, I'm with you on that too, Trip, because I think if you start at like 1,500 gram versus the 2,000 or 2,200, I think that sometimes, and it's probably not all the time because you have big females only dropping 4 eggs too, right? But sometimes I think that has to do with the size of the clutch as well.
yeah. And I think the ones that are going off of food, maybe they just weren't ready weight wise because my snakes don't really go off of food when they're pregnant. But like I
I was
said,
gonna say she hasn't went off food either. Then I guarantee she's gonna drop soon.
well, yeah, and that's, I mean, to me, that's what you want. You don't want that snake to stop eating. You want it to eat, you know. And
It's
to
probably
me,
more dollars.
No,
and
definitely
they're
you want that
healthy. I
snake to
mean,
keep eating until like y'all say, once it starts to go into the ovulation and do its thing, right before it comes up on that prelay shed, if it stops eating, that to me would be normal, right? Because then you got what
yeah,
6 to
no,
8
yeah,
until you see eggs, so 2 months. But my snake has already been off of food for 3 months, so that's why I pulled back and was like, yeah,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's smart. I mean,
right.
but that's all a matter of the keeper and their opinion. I mean, if they want,
Definitely, I'm
Right.
not saying
So
don't breed your snakes at 1,200 grams.
my
If it's
bad.
working for you,
Yeah,
that's
it
good.
works for you.
yeah. But
You know.
I'm just, yeah, I would, just because the only reason I say that is because that's how I was taught by a person, not you, not the internet, like a person in my town that breeds snakes. That's where most of my racks came from that I first got, and that's where my incubator came from. She gave it to us. You know what I'm saying? And she's been there to help, but you have to have a mentor that you respect and that you can go see. That's another thing. If you have somebody in your area that's a breeder and they're making money on it and they produce beautiful animals and you can talk to them, chances are they'll talk to you. But if you can go see their facility, you know what I'm saying, and learn stuff from them, like go.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Like
No,
I tell
Chris teaches me
everybody
all
that
kinds of
buys a
stuff.
snake, if somebody buys a snake from me, I give them like pretty much our phone number. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, you call me if you need
I
anything.
haven't sold a snake yet, but I want to know how my snake's doing. Like, every day, damn near. You ain't got to talk to me every day, but you could, and I'll reply to you and I'll talk to you about the snake that I sold you because I didn't sell a snake yet. But when I do, I mean, heck yeah, I want to be on it.
Well,
I
I've
ain't got nothing
had
to listen to
people.
sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you, I feed frozen. I'll sell them eating frozen thawed, and they're at a good weight. You know what I'm saying? And they've eaten 10 or more meals. You know what I mean? And I don't really have any callbacks other than, do you think there's a hidden gene in this?
Right.
You know, and honestly, that's all it is. Or are y'all going to be at the next show? Because that's what I'm telling you, man. Like Dave said, from the consumer standpoint, when you're selling pets or first time breeders, they want that, man, and it makes the community look better. It's better for your customers. It's better. It's more economically friendly too. I mean, you
Right.
think about how much you spend on everything for rats, and that shit gets expensive too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Did Drago freeze? Yeah,
He's good.
there he is.
He's
He
back.
tripped out.
But yeah, to me, it's more economically friendly to not breed rats right now. I mean, I'm gonna in the future. Yes, I am gonna breed rats when I get a house with a garage or a shed, but I just can't do it in my situation, so I make do with what I got.
Right.
And I just order frozen thawed. But eventually, yeah, I would like to breed my own rats and pre-kill them and freeze them, because that would save me a lot of money.
Yeah.
But there is a lot that goes into it, and for me right now in my life, it's more economically friendly. But people don't understand breeding rats. That shit's expensive. It gets expensive doing that.
Right. Right here, like this is what I'm worried about with the bigger girls. We got two really big girls, you know what I mean, that didn't lay yet, and they're, between 21 and 25. Like that one was 21, 20. I think the other one's 25. But 4 eggs, that's not that many. Like that last girl that just laid, first time mom. She was 1,400 grams when I started pairing her. 8 eggs. And like 2 of them, like the boob egg, it got a boob egg. It's got, a veins and embryo. Like it was clear right there on top. And there's it's even littler than the boob egg. And it's round. It's not oval, it's round. And it's got an embryo and good thick veins in it too. So it got incubated. And
how much did she weigh after she laid eggs? Do you know?
I didn't weigh her yet. I washed her and I'm leaving her alone. I'm going to see if she's going to eat this week and then, go from there. But
after mine lay, I don't think they get under 15 or 16. Like they never drop.
What about the eggs?
So to me, that's why
he likes the big girls.
It ain't nothing wrong with doing the 7 or the 1,400 grams, 1,700 gram. That's your decision. But like to me, like David said, it dropped a lot of weight. And it wasn't really a big snake to begin with if it was 1,700 grams. And I don't know. I just feel like, to me personally, I would like when I breed a snake, I don't want it to drop below. If it's like I said, I don't breed females until they're at least 3 years old.
Could be.
And a lot of people don't do that. Some people will breed a snake. Like some people
I like them all, buddy. I like them all.
Power feed a female the first year, and then like a year and a half, they start breeding it. And to me, that's wrong. And I'm sorry, but to me, that's wrong. And you can read any ball python book, and they'll tell you that that's wrong.
Well, I'm wrong. That's exactly what I did.
Well, it will work. It will work.
I'm sorry, Nick.
I'm trying to tell you that in the long run, it's not that good for the health of the snake, because, I mean, it'd be like a little 11-year-old or a 10-year-old or whatever. They might be able to have babies, but it might not be the best thing for their body or their organs or their development, because in the future that snake, it may lay its first year, might not. I got
a little experience in that. I got a little experience in that because this Xanthic girl, like I started breeding her. I think she was like 1250, like maybe 1225. And she went off food for 4 months. That's the one I went off food for 4 months. You know how much she weighed when she laid? Because I was interested, because she just didn't look. I didn't like the look of her. Now she's fine. She's eating. She went down to 925.
And that's all snake, like individual snakes.
And I didn't like it.
I'm not saying you breed every snake that's 1,500 grams and it's going to look like that. But that's what I'm saying. When you see that, then it's like, damn, maybe I should have bred her when she was a little bit thicker and bigger and a little more healthy.
With Gaddis and the other two I just laid, it was bigger. When I started breeding them, they already look fine. Like Gaddis, she hardly even looks like she laid, except her belly's empty. You know what I mean? Yep. She's totally belly empty. That's the only part that's sagging. There's no extra like skin. So I like the way she looked, but she only went off food for like 5 weeks. She didn't go off long. Lady Lane, the pied, she went off for like 7 weeks before she laid. I have it written down in there. But that's what's cool about documenting, like things on the internet and things on my phone. Like we was in that conversation before. You was like, you ain't got nothing written down. I was like, it's not word for word, but I got logs, I got stuff. Look back through my phone, look back through the little bit of notes I had, look back through my video, and I can answer every question you had about that girl. I was like, I do have it. It's just not. I got to be more thorough with marking everything down because I think that's important too. I'm totally seeing that when
that
it
was
eats,
a point. Yeah,
when it
that was a
don't eat,
point
what it
that was.
weighs, what like when it pooped, like everything, like that
Well, I
shit
don't go that
done
far.
is good to have.
I keep up. We just started keeping up when they shed, but
I don't even do that yet.
Like the point
All right,
was,
when I show you a snake, when I show you a snake, and I sit there and I give you a list of everything when it eats, when it's poop, when it did this, how much it weighed.
Oh
yeah. Like, wouldn't that be like, good. Well, damn, okay.
Yeah, but most people don't really care when it pooped.
Well, some people might.
They might, yeah, but like me, to me, like you said, writing down is the most important thing, whether you write down if they poop or not.
How hard is it just to have a notebook on each snake and just go?
Well, my snakes poop. My snakes poop.
Or I clean poop up. You might not catch them pooping.
I would have a filing cabinet of poop, just nothing but poop cards.
Right.
Well, see,
what I was saying
I only got 25 snakes. I guess it wouldn't really work with that much. I mean, with these husbandry pro programs, though, I'm sure you can make your own subtitle up of like poops, or something.
Isn't there an app you can do that on now?
Yeah, like the husbandry pro, the thing that Billy got. There was a thing that Morph Market got that you could. I think it's Cold Blood. You could start that's the social media platform, but it's there. Like when there's a thing you can link to your snakes through Morph Market, and somewhere in there it said you could add your own subtitles to it, like to each snake. It's just like you can put poops in there if you want. You're adding stuff, but you can get it. You could get as far as it as you want to go, as far as record keeping online.
Well, like I was saying, the point was trying to be made about, feeding live online, trying to like justify it in the sense that you're documenting it and it's for your records.
Well, damn, buddy.
And I brought up the point, if you breed snakes and you are lazy and you don't want to write down when that snake ate and what it ate, then don't do it, because that's not going to me, that's a bullshit cop out fucking wannabe excuse to say that, because you could document it even if you videotape it, don't post it.
Right.
But it takes me, I got all these, I got like, I guess 50, maybe right at 50 snakes, including the hatchlings. But to do every one of these, like when I feed the hatchlings, I throw them in there like live because they're so tiny. They don't even have teeth yet, but they're hatchling snakes. So I throw them in there. I go smoke me a cigarette. I come right back in the room. The ones that ate, I mark it down. The ones that ain't ate, I leave the tub pulled out a little bit because they got lids on them on my rack. And then once they damn eat, I write it down. The ones that don't eat after, an hour or so of them little bitty ass hopper or whatever fuzzies being in there, then I take those rats out and feed them to stuff I know will eat it, like a rat snake or whatever,
Right.
And I do it like that. But it probably takes me I don't know, man, like I'll say 10 seconds at the most to write down the date and either frozen thawed or rat pup. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to use that excuse, then
none of us have venomous.
You're grasping for straws. Right. I want to keep venomous, but I'm not allowed in the state of Alabama.
I don't want to keep venomous at all because I'm a dumbass and I'll get bit.
Well, you're not allowed to keep any in Alabama. The law is with venomous is you're not allowed to keep any venomous that is indigenous to this state, like rattlesnakes, coral. You can't keep nothing like that, and it's illegal if you do. And you're also not allowed to own any non-indigenous animals, such as like bush vipers or anything like I don't know, cobras. You can't have none of
Right.
that. So basically, you're not allowed to have venomous here at all. And Alabama makes it to where you can't even relocate snakes. And I basically do that, I guess, illegally. I hate to say it, but I'll go down for trying to save a rattlesnake from somebody killing it if they call me. So I do it.
I hit the wrong button.
But it is illegal to do that here, and it's messed up because them snakes don't hurt. They ain't hurt nobody. They could hurt you, but that snake's just being a snake, and I don't. But I love venomous snakes, mainly rattlesnakes. But I can't have them. So
hognose are rear fang venomous, so you could like handle a hognose and everything. It's not like keeping a gavoon viper or a rattlesnake. It's a little different than one of the like a gavoon.
Yeah, if you, I mean, there's like there's all kind of colubrids that are rear fanged and mildly venomous, but they would have to gnaw on you. I mean, they would have to grab you and just like, because the fang isn't front fixed, it's not gonna get you. It's like this, so when they bite you, it looks like that, and they're having to try to
walk it up
you know
on
what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and that, like you said, that stuff, even if you did get it envenomated by it, it'll probably give you a rash or might make you itch or feel kind of sleepy, maybe, or
loopy.
Like you got stung. Yeah, like you got stung by a wasp or something. But if you're allergic to ants, if you're allergic to any kind of stinging
let's
insect,
start telling people it makes you trip, and then everyone will want hognose to make.
No.
Let's go get a hognose so we can trip, man.
But I do want to say for real to people that if you're
That's
allergic
false.
to any kind of insect or any kind of stinging insect, if you get bit by ants and you have to have an epinephrine pen or whatever, you do not get mildly venomous hog noses or mangrove snakes or nothing like that. Do not get those, because if they do by chance envenomate you, it could cause you to go into shock, and that's a thing that people need to know. People need to know that.
Get serious on that, Nick.
No, I mean, I'm serious. It happens. Like my stepdaughter, she's really highly allergic to ants, and we love hog noses, but once we found out that they were mildly venomous a long time ago, we couldn't do it because if by chance she was to get bit, like they could bite me, it wouldn't matter, feel a little woozy, whatever, maybe, but she would have to go to the hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Tammy got chewed on by one of her hog noses and was all right. So maybe, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
You're just not allergic to it. You don't have that reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, it is possible for you to kind of build immunity to what you're allergic to. I mean, if you look into that, like in Great Britain, like allergies are handled way different medically in England than they are in the United States. United States, they want to treat the allergy and tell you to stay away from this and give you an EpiPen. Over there, they want to feed it to you little fucking crumbs at a time and build your system up to it. So if you do accidentally come across it, you're not dead. And it's working. I don't know if you ever heard of that. I watched a documentary on that like fucking 10 years ago. So I'd hate to see where that's at now.
Microdosing the coronavirus.
Basically, yeah. Let's microdose some coronavirus so we get immune to it. Who's down?
Yes, Lord.
That's funny. But yeah, like I can kick myself in the ass because there's two other females that I kind of bred on the light side. And after that Exanthic laid, I was like, man, good thing is that she went right back on food and he's back to looking nice. So,
well, you got some eggs to keep you busy for a while.
I got 18 right now.
When them babies hatch out, Ken, you are going to be exhausted, man. I'm telling you. It's going
good.
To wear you
out. I need something to keep me moving now. Keep my mind occupied off of not choking.
You got have you already built a baby rack, or you already got one?
Yeah, I got stuff. I got a place to keep them. I got like 52 tubs, 6-quarter tubs, and I got heat tape set up so they could sit on top of it, and they're kind of right in the corner where everything's at, so all the heat stays in that corner.
See, I tried to do like ambient heat on my hatchlings, and I had to damn break down and buy the heat tape and do the rack and route all the shit because I couldn't get them to eat good. The ambient heat where I live in my house, it
Right.
just wasn't good. And I know I watch people on, YouTube and read about it, and it can happen. You can do ambient heat, but you need to get like to do it in a like a room, like an isolated room like I got, I would have to buy an air conditioner unit that is both heat controlled and air controlled to keep it at a like steady temperature the whole time. Because I don't know
Right.
if you remember, but a while back I was talking about I was trying the ambient temperature. I don't know if you remember, but it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So I had to adapt, and that's what
Right.
red keeping is about. And that's why it grinds a lot of people's gears when people get set in their ways about stuff. And we have to evolve. You know what I mean? We have to, and everything evolves. Like I said, science never stops evolving, and we
Yeah.
don't stop.
Right.
So if somebody tells you something, the moral of the story, if somebody tells you something, don't get mad. Just say okay, even if you don't agree with
Yeah.
it and believe
Sure.
it. Say okay, and then look it up, and
Yeah.
then search it and
Yeah.
open your mind up to it. And if you do that and you still don't agree with it, then that's fine. But chances are you might read it, and some of that stuff might come across it, and you be like, damn, I don't agree with this whole fucking page article that I read from this scientist, but some of his points were pretty convincing, and maybe I'll give that a try. You know what I'm saying? Like, be like that. Don't be set in your ways when it comes to keeping animals,
I have
because
one or two like that.
it changes so much. You know
Their
what I'm
head
saying?
asshole.
That's all I wanted to say about it.
Oh, I,
I
I didn't. I didn't need for you to stop. I was just commenting.
No, yeah, I just don't want people to be set in their ways. I don't want people to never
Right.
stop
Always
growing.
be willing to learn more. There,
Yeah,
I don't think what I take from this is I'm never going to stop learning. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never
but if
not
you
too
stop
proud to say it.
learning, yeah, if you
What's up,
stop,
Tim?
what's
I'm
up,
going.
Tim? If you stop learning, then you're giving up. What's the point?
Exactly.
Like in life, in my life as a man, as a working man in this country, this shitty country, every day when I get up, I got my problems, but when I get up
Links in the
and I
chat
go to
if anyone
work
else wants to come up.
and somebody tells me something at work, I've done plumbing for fucking my whole life. I've
Right.
done plumbing. I grew up, my family owned plumbing companies my whole life. So I know a lot about plumbing. But if somebody tells me at work, hey man, you should try to do it this way, I don't look at them and start cussing at them or mocking them or trying to make them feel stupid or telling them they're wrong. I say, all right, man, well, let's try it.
Right.
And most
Why
of the
not?
time, it
Why
makes
not?
the job easier. You know
Why
what I'm
not?
saying? So why not? Yeah, fuck
Why
it.
not?
You might
Just
can
be
learn
open
something.
minded. Yeah, be open minded and learn from yourself.
Y'all listen out there. You might can learn something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You never stop learning. You shouldn't. If you do, like I said, when I stop learning, I'll be dead. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
When I
that ain't.
start when I start thinking that I don't know, like I know everything and I have nothing else to gain, why would you want to live?
That's right.
That's okay,
I'm gonna
Tim.
go.
I
I'm
just
gonna
put it
go
out there,
drain.
dude.
I'm gonna go drain the main vein.
Go ahead, drain all you need. What up, Connor? Thanks for coming in. Heck yeah, Dragos. I think I'm liking the direction of all this. Like episode one, like first hour of it, I think we kicked some major ass.
Yes, sir.
We did pretty good.
Yeah, you never want to stop learning, though. And I mean, everybody's not out here sharing their journey because they know 100% about everything, right? So,
Yeah. You know what, buddy? I get you. I got a hell of a lot to learn because I'm a dumb shit. I do dumb shit for laughter, and I ain't learned yet. So I got lots to learn. I used to have a car sticker that says I do dumb shit, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't believe how many old men, like I'm talking 60 and above, would like go out of their way to blow the horn and give me the thumbs up. So love your sticker, me too. And I'm like, that's gonna be me in 20 years. Like,
right? Yeah.
see, look, I'm speeding up here trying to pass you, in a no passing lane, telling you that's cool. I do dumb
Right.
shit.
I'm gonna take this left.
Yep, you sure do.
So you said
all right, everybody.
All right.
About to drop a massive elbow on you, brother.
RWO.
But I'm gonna let my fucking pythons wrap around and crush your skull.
Oh
yeah.
Hey, if I had $1 for every time I was told that they was gonna eat us while we sleep.
Say what now?
I said if I had $1 for every time they told us that on the comments that them pythons are gonna try to eat you while you sleep. I'm like, come on, man.
Oh man, no. Well, reticulated pythons and shit, where they're from, drunk people fall asleep on benches and they do get eaten.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, that is the truth. It don't have. I mean, it's not like it happens in vast numbers. It's probably like maybe one a year, maybe, I don't know, but it's not like crazy in numbers. But I mean, the thing is
think about that.
Well, yeah, but we don't live in a country like that, so that's awesome for us. But
I don't want to own nothing like that.
No, I don't either, and that's what I was trying to explain to Tim. I like the super drawer free ticks.
Yeah,
and
sure.
And that's the thing I want to point on, man. I want to really point on this.
Do it. Point it out.
Because Tim's watching this, and he was talking a lot about big animals, like big snakes, big monitor lizards, and things like that, because that's what he deals with a lot.
Right.
And he has a lot of experience. So when he says things, I listen. You know what I'm saying? And I take it into account. And his main thing is he owns big snakes, and I think he was trying to make that point, and it just wasn't getting heard. And I just wanted everybody to know that, he has big animals, so people don't hate on him for what he said or whatever and what he believes, because he works with he ain't working with ball pythons. He's working with freaking 20-foot snakes. I mean 16-foot.
Even if he did, he is trying to create that image that we could present to these people in the behind the desk and be excellent at it. If we all had an image like Tim, we would be further ahead.
And I look
that
at
guy throws off like what you want to try to strive for.
Yeah, he's
and that's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
even though that I might not agree with everything that he says. There might be things that I'm just too hard-headed to learn, but that don't mean I'm going to be angry at him and try to rip his head off for it.
That's right.
I mean, who does that?
Well, and you think about it, you might not agree with what somebody says right now, but like me, okay, for instance, like me saying, me telling you, Ken, that I don't breed at a certain weight. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
Yeah, you might not want to do that, and you might think, well, I was told this, but who knows? Maybe in the future it might work out better for you to do that, or it might end up happening on its own. Not saying that in particular. I'm just saying
I've learned my lesson.
I feel like when people tell people stuff that are hard-headed and that don't want to listen to what they say, they just want to keep interrupting, and it does. To people like that, you might as well not even talk to, because it's not going to matter. But I feel like when you're trying to talk to somebody and explain to them that I lost what I was saying.
Are you drinking a bit too much?
Possibly.
I mean, I'm willing to go 2 hours, but do we need to give Nick a timeout?
No, I need a revival. Hold on.
All right. There you go. There you go. I mean, I was going to time you out, make you go to the chat for about 10 minutes till you calm down.
You was going to time me out?
Hit him with the EpiPen, Ken.
You need that EpiPen. Get your ass down to chat, boy.
Oh, no, I feel like we just keep talking about the same thing, and I'm getting thrown off because I keep saying the same thing over and over. We keep repeating image, and image is what it's all about, people.
Well, that's what this whole thing, why I wanted to rush this on, because honestly, since Tuesday, I've talked a lot and got a lot of people's opinions, and a lot of people has reached out to me and has talked about it, and it's just why not just put everything out there, as soon as possible, why it's fresh in everyone's mind. everything's cool. No one's really mad at each other or anything, but just that time, like, it was the best thing for the situation that was happening, and that was my decision, and I don't take it back. I mean, that I
like
respect both parties 100%. So
it's like me and you talked about, Ken, earlier. Me and you had a discussion.
Sure did.
Opinionated discussion about hits.
Sure did.
And what happened 10 minutes after that conversation? I mean, right after the conversation, we started talking about something else and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's, the thing is, don't get hung up. I mean, if somebody says something you don't like, there's no reason to just keep. And if you said your side and they said their side, after a few times of trying to explain it, it is what it is. Nobody, it is what it is. Just
I don't know if Tim's still in the room.
You ever had that one person that don't listen though, bro?
Oh, I know.
They're around everywhere.
Like,
they're around everywhere.
And they know everything and know better. And it's like, bro, I'm just trying to tell you how to do it.
There's one in every crowd. There's one in every crowd.
That's what I forgot. What I was talking about. What I was talking about is nobody knows everything, and I preached forever about these fucking paper towels because it was cleaner and all this bunch of stuff. And I now, I was like, no, I'm not going to go back to cocoa fiber. And people are like, you need to. Like, more experienced people are like, you need to do that because it's better for the snake and it's easier for their shed and everything else. It might be more maintenance. I don't have shed problems,
and I use that.
I don't have necessarily shed problems, but I've had more shed problems since I've used paper towels than I used to. And now I'm eating my words.
Paper.
Well, I'm eating my words now because now I'm learning my lesson. And I'm not going to use paper towels on nothing but my hatchlings. And because it's not working for me. But I preached it forever. But I'm man enough to admit that I don't want to do it no more. I learned my lesson. So what I was saying was, if somebody says something that you don't agree with, take it for what it is and try to remember it. Because one day you're either going to do what they were telling you to do, or you're going to be doing a version of it, because that's what works. And if somebody has 20 years experience or more in big snakes or little snakes or monitor lizards and no snakes at all, listen to them. Because at the end of the day, it's a reptile. And at the end of the day, they've been doing it for that long. And you haven't. If this is your first year breeding ball pythons, and you are really literally so green that you've laid like 4 let's say 10 clutches, even 10, you should still listen. You should never stop listening.
It's a 10.
But your first year or 2 or 3, listen to everything that everybody says, man, because it's ignorant not to listen at that point.
Right.
I want to talk about,
give it a try.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about a retech, like slithering away with a man's body inside of it. Because, like, Dave brought that back up, and I mean, that's pretty messed up. I mean, think about that. You go into the pub, the local bar, have some beers with your buddies, shoot some pool, come out, get a little too comfortable, and you don't wake up because you're inside a snake belly.
Think about where Draco lives. Draco lives in the swamp. Draco, if he goes down there to the bayou and he gets too drunk and he falls asleep by that Buskio, I tell you what, boy, that goddamn gator gonna come out that Buskio and take his ass down. I'm talking about down.
Trips over there. Trips is a good dude.
It really will, man. It will fuck you up. And we have animals like that here, alligators and shit. But I mean, seriously, Draco lives somewhere where animals will kill you like that.
Right.
And it's just about, I mean, it happens, man. If your way to go out is being eaten by a giant snake, then you should feel honored from the snake gods, man. That's the way I look at it.
Draco's nickname for you is Stickin'. Your Trips. Like, from now on, your Trips. It's Stickin'. I mean, it's 666. No, just Trips. Trips is cool. Stickin'. We'll all come up with nicknames.
I'll try to keep it tripped up.
To touch the paper towel subject. That's because I've used the cocoa fiber and the chips, right?
This is good. I got some input on that.
I've always found myself back at the paper towel method. But yes, it is a little more finicky on the shedding side. But what I tend to do different is my cool side, I keep it about 78, 82, and then the warm side about 89 to 94, right?
Yeah.
And when I go in there and I see them shedding, I got distilled water in a gallon jug, and what I'll do is hit it on the hot side to bring the humidity up.
Yeah, well, you mean you can use moss. We use like the things, the little containers strawberries come in, and they got holes in them.
Well, and I
when
wanted to try that with the smaller ones. Yeah,
you should. It works. The sphagnum moss works good.
Really,
but
and I got some of that here.
Like I said, it's all about individuality, man. And whatever works for the individual person, it works for them. But I'm gonna go back to cocoa because I got all my males on cocoa right now and all my females on paper towel. And the paper towel is just so much more like it costs more because you're having to buy fuck tons of paper towels, and it is a lot cleaner, and that is the only thing I liked about it. But to me, I feel like I don't want them to have respiratory problems. I want the humidity to be good, and none of my big snakes have that problem, but I don't want it to ever happen. So I'm just going to go back to what the breeder told me that I learned from, that the person in Millbrook that gave me the incubator and sold me my first ball python. Right. I'm going to go to what she said, and I'm going to use cocoa husk or cocoa fiber because I don't know, man. But that's what I'm saying. You always end up going back to what somebody else told you, so don't ever stop learning.
It would have to be. I mean, but still, what you think a 20-foot snake could take a man, like a 120-pound like little guy? I mean, it's got to be a monster snake to take me. I mean, it could kill me. I'm not going to say a 20-foot snake couldn't kill me. I don't know.
No, it is possible. It's 100%. It happens. It's a fact that those reticulated pythons in their country, in their native land, if they are that big and they have they're opportunistic eaters, if they have the opportunity, they're going to eat that person if they can get it. If it is big enough to get it inside of them, they are going to eat it.
They eat baby deers that they see at the water hole that the alligator might have snatched up but didn't get it, and it goes off. That snake will eat it up.
Yeah, I mean they'll eat whatever they can get in their belly,
right?
But it's not like in massive numbers. I'm not talking about like if you look it up, it's very low percentages, and it might not even happen every year. But it is factual. They've cut retics open. Where's it at? Thailand or where the fuck ever? Wherever they cut them open.
Indonesia.
And I'll be damned. Yeah, Indonesia. And I'll be damned if there is not people in, like a person in there or a child. I mean, they're not 350-pound fucking behemoth security guards or nothing. But I mean, nobody in that country is that big anyway. It's a impoverished country, so you're talking about little skinny people that are malnourished. They don't eat a lot, so they're not going to be that damn big. Of course, it's not going to eat nothing that big, but it can eat people. I mean, that's like saying an alligator can't eat a person. They will eat you, and they can. So,
by the way, the Steelers was winning 24-0 in the fourth quarter when I was back there. So, another stellar game by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have high hopes this season. Just saying.
Football.
But listen to this idea. So it's kind of pinched for room for my hatchling rack. I do have kind of, slots built up like with them L brackets and boards and heat tape on it. But I'm in the process of building another incubator that's 5 foot high. It's like a 5 foot stand high freezer. So basically I got racks in there and I'm going to heat it up with a fan that blows a little bit more than I need to circulate air. And just put my hatchlings in there in 6-quart tubs. I can fit like 40 in there. So
I'll leave my hatchlings in the incubator, but I'll leave them in there until they shed.
Right.
And
well, I'm just saying, even until after they shed. I mean, once they get bigger, I'm working on building another rack. But I got 6, 7, maybe 8 months if they're even here. I mean, I got space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So hopefully, I don't think I'm going to have 5 holdbacks out of the 3 clutches. I might if I hit some nice clowns.
That's
especially if that Grimm's in there.
3 a shelf.
I'm going to have to build more.
3 bins per shelf. But I had to have it, man. And I feel like you have to have a good baby
rack. Say I get nuts odds on this triple het clutch. Say she has like 12 eggs and, I get a bunch of triple visuals and double visuals. If I make enough money off of that, you don't think there's going to be a big fucking AR set, nice fucking, you know, I don't have money like that. I got to upgrade with what I get. And if I get something like that, like, and I sell it to community, it's getting put back into the community in a way because I'm going and buying some nice ass equipment.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying too earlier about if there's a local breeder around wherever people are that want to get into it, it's a very good thing to get in touch with them because they're upgrading all the time. And if you're just getting into it, like literally,
well, his son gets all his old racks. I mean,
that
kind of sucks right there. But.
And that male rack, I don't know if you can really see it.
But I tell you what I build, those things that I built is better than that one to your, it would be to your right. The one to your right, that high one, they're sturdier and better than that, I'd say.
Well, this one was handmade from that girl I was saying, but I didn't pay for it. That's what I was getting at. They'll just give it to you. A lot of times, like if you get friends with breeders, when you're getting into it, local in your area, they'll call you, just like my fucking incubator. Look at my incubator. I'd paid nothing for it. It was already built. And she was like, she got a new one. And she was like, do y'all want it? And we were like, yeah.
Well, Chris gave me my first incubator. I mean, but I was in the middle of building my own, but I'm turning it into a hatchling rack kind of now because it's nice, compact. You know what I mean?
Like the community is good. You know what I'm saying?
I love this community.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I mean, that's another reason why I wanted to do another live because, you know, during the week, I just like getting on talking the shit, you know, with people and interacting with the chat a little more because I'm not like asking questions and shit, you know, it's just, there's not really an agenda. There's a couple topics we want to talk about, but that's it.
I'm about to look at the comments.
Mitzi, you'd be surprised once you start, you know, really getting to know people around you. I'm sure there's someone.
Mitzi,
I'm sure.
Buddy Briggs, you're so nice. Thank you, Buddy Briggs. Respect.
Buddy's cool, dude. I've seen a couple of his lives. I mean, he's all right, dude.
I'm gonna look him up after this and see what he's all got going on.
The way I look at this, if I wanted to get 1,000 subscribers, I don't think I could have did it in the snake community. So, you know, I look into other things that I like, you know, or might want to get into. Magnet fishing was pretty cool. You know, panning for gold's pretty cool. I get into those shows, and that's how I came into the Buddy Biggs. I think AAP is where I met a couple of these people. The AAP Variety Channel. I don't know. He gives away silver coins and shit. And I don't know. He's a pretty cool dude. I mean, he's got his podcast down. He's like a good host. It's fun. High energy.
Well, all the people that are watching, if you're not subscribed to my channel, we're at 400. If you go there and subscribe and comment on any video, the more you comment, you get points. So every video you comment, you get a point. And I'm writing it all down in my notebook. I've been doing it for the whole time. Yeah, I've been doing it the whole.
The AI bot on you now.
The whole time that I've been doing YouTube, I've been doing that, and I have a lot of names and a lot of checks. So, but I'm saying once we get to 500 subscribers, the person with the most checks, I'm gonna send like one of my most valuable hatchlings out that I've hatched. Like I'm talking about the best looking, prettiest one. I got some pretty champagne stuff, champagne pins. I got we won a lot of our snakes on giveaways on YouTube. Right. And that's how we got some of our we got our Toffino GHI that way, our albino pinstripe.
Someone just went out. Someone just walked out the chat. I bet you they're going over to your channel and start liking shit.
They need to. And you don't have to exit the video, y'all. Y'all can keep watching and still subscribe. But yeah, for real. I mean, I like I was talking to Vision Reptiles. Right. His name is Nick too. I don't know if you've seen his stuff. He don't really do YouTube a lot, but he does like TikTok and stuff, and he's a pretty cool dude, you know. And I was talking to him, and we were just talking about how we want to give back to the community. Right. Like how I was saying, like people like this breeder gave me these racks and this incubator and hooked me up on my first 2 male and female, you know, hooked me up in a good price way and did me right. And the people that I've won countless snakes from have done me right. and I just want to be able to give back. And that's why I gave one, Tuesday night. I just, at random, I looked at Morgan. I said, let's do a giveaway. Hell yeah, Luke. Awesome. I said, let's do a giveaway tonight when I do Ken's Live. And Morgan was like, okay. I said, pick one and we'll give it away. And she picked one and we gave it to Bailey's Royal Beauties. And, and to me, that's awesome. I looked up her page and that's awesome. When kids get into this and she's a kid and
I was thrilled that she won.
Awesome. She is awesome for doing that with them snakes. And she loves them snakes. And if anybody wants to go check out Bailey's Royal Beauties, you should go check her stuff out too. Because it's innocent. She's a little kid, but it's awesome. It's her family. They're getting more into it.
Doing it.
I know, and that's our main thing here at 666 Serpents is we have kids, and our kids have friends. They go to school, and my kids love to watch these eggs get laid. They love to be in here with me while I cut them, and it's a family event. And it teaches your kids about life. It teaches them about science, about life, about anatomy, about, everything that you need to know growing up. Kids are the future, exactly. And these kids now don't know shit about anything.
I believe
it's sad.
So
if I can teach my daughter how to breed snakes and what it means to breed and the right and wrong things to do with animals and how to treat animals. If you can teach a kid how to treat animals good, they will be a great person their whole life. Because a bad person is not going to be nice to an animal. They're going to be a dickhead to it. You know what I'm saying? So we instill in our kids, don't be mean to that dog. Don't be mean, be very gentle with that snake. Do you see these eggs, and man, I love when we went to that reptile show, we did our first reptile show this past month, and man, it was fucking awesome. Like our table was packed the whole time because a lot of people there were charging people to hold their snakes.
What?
Just hold them. And I was like, man, fuck that. And I even said it. You know how I am. I was like, y'all come over here. I got you. I said, I said, just put hand sanitizer on. I don't give a shit. We hold our snakes. I'm not worried about it. You're right here. What are you going to do? Of course, I didn't have 10 or 20 snakes out at once. And there was a line, but those people were in line. And 90% of those people held their first snake at my table. And you know what? They bought a fucking snake. And they would have never bought a snake. Like this one woman, she wanted the crested gecko and a ball python. And I told her, if you buy both, I'll do you a super killer deal. You know what I'm saying? A crested gecko, ready breeder female that's already laid infertile eggs for me plenty of times. She was beautiful. And that badass ball python, that spider, het, fucking hypo, het, everything, black pastel, a sweet snake. And she said, well, I want the lizard, but I can't afford it. I said, well, get the pair. She said, my husband will never let me get it, right? So after she took a bunch of pictures with her and her little kids holding it, her husband said, okay, bring it home. And now they message, they'll message us or whatever and say, we love this snake. You know what I'm saying? My husband even likes it now.
I can't wait for that.
That's what it's about.
That would make me feel a sense of such an accomplishment.
No, it is. It's awesome. Yeah. Because that goes back to me and why I believe what I believe about feeding live on camera. And that is why, because I don't want, like my daughter, I don't know if y'all, I know you have kids. Do you have kids, Drago?
No, sir. No.
Like my little, my 4-year-old, right? She knows that when I go on my rat run, she knows when I go get live rats, and she knows when I get home what I'm doing. And she don't like it, but I don't let her watch it. I don't want her to watch it, and I would not ever want a kid to stumble on a channel of someone feeding a fucking crocodile a rabbit or a live pig or anything like that. I wouldn't want that because it would make it to a kid that's super impressionable. It's going to scare them.
Did you ever see that?
I do it for the kids.
Did you ever see that Netflix documentary, Don't Fuck with the Cats?
Yeah. That
was some sick ass shit.
Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy movie.
Feeding little kittens to what was it, a boa or a retic?
Well, people do that, man, and it's like Drago said, they do it because they know that it. Look, man, look. The human mind is a fucked up thing. We like fucked up shit. I don't give
And
a
that's
fuck
why I
who
ain't
you
gonna bring
are.
no kids in the world, bro. I know what the world's
Well,
about.
yeah, but what I'm saying is like we like to watch shit. Like if you tell somebody there's a dead body in that shed,
That was pretty
chances
cool,
are
Mitzi. I agree.
they're gonna go want to see it.
Right?
I don't know if y'all remember Rotten.com. You remember that where
Yeah.
you watch people get their
Yeah.
heads cut off and shit? People loved that. And
They
it's
do.
so fucked up. Like it is not it is horrible, but people love it. And but the thing is if people would stop giving them that content, they would, they wouldn't be able to
Right?
watch it and it wouldn't be out there for people to think that that's okay, because a lot of people don't know that it's not okay to do that. Like, and I'm not saying feeding live to ball pythons in particular. I'm mainly talking about throwing multiple prey items live in a bin with any
Seeing
animal,
which one it picks.
or feeding a live animal like such as a pig or a fucking. And I've seen crazy
Rabbit.
videos, with like frogs and hornets and all kind of fucked up weird shit. And it's like,
Yeah, I seen that.
stop making that stuff, because that is like, first of all, you're hurting an animal, and you're gaining notoriety for the death and of another animal, and you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that.
No.
It's
And it,
bad blood, Trip.
yeah, it is. And when people see that, next thing they're going to tell somebody is, oh man, I seen this fucking cobra eat or I seen this alligator was fed a live pig and it was fucking brutal. You know what I'm saying? Or I seen this person feed a live, like he was saying, a 10-pound bunny to a retic, and that fucking bunny bit the shit out of that retic. But once that retic got a hold of it, it squeezed its guts out of its ass. No, don't show shit like that, because those people are going to hear that and say, that's disgusting. I don't
Right?
like that. I would never want to see that. And then that's it. They're turned off.
When
And
I first
that's,
got into this, probably June, July of 2022, I was, watching shorts, trying to, see cool shit, and on reptiles. And I watched a video of this dude feeding ball python hatchlings. I mean, he killed them. He didn't show killing them, but they were already dead. And he's like, yeah, here's a $5,000 ball python, feeding it to their lizards. And it was just tearing it apart.
well, a lot of times
Like
when
there was like
people,
10,
but
15
the
lizards in this
snake,
pen.
was the snake already dead?
Yeah.
Okay, it is fucked up that he had that many animals in there at one time, but
And it
I
was fighting
feed.
for it, tearing it apart.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, man. When you breed, and Ken, you're gonna run into it, and Dragos, you're gonna run into it.
Dude,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
have
have dead
snakes,
snakes.
and I feed them to my animals because I don't want nothing to go to waste. I throw them in the
I
freezer
get
and
them if
freeze
they're
them.
born dead.
Well, I've had to cull snakes. That's what I was saying that one time. I mean,
Kinks and
sometimes.
stuff.
Well, that's why I got rid of all my spiders, because I had to
Right?
cull that one spider, and I said no, I would never do this shit again, because it was heartbreaking. Because first of all, it was a beautiful fucking snake, and second of all, it was a life, and I made that life, and then I had to destroy it. And I mean, yeah, I go deer hunting, but I don't feed that mama deer milk and give it
Awesome.
to,
The
have
more
this
you can do it, the
baby and
better.
nurse this baby. I don't, and it came out of the egg, and it was corkscrewing so bad, and it had so many kinks all in it, and I felt terrible. So the first thing I did was cull it, and that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And I said right then and there, I'm getting rid of every spotter we got. She didn't want to do it. I didn't really want to do it, because they make beautiful animals, but to me, it ain't worth it, and I ain't doing that shit again. You know what I'm saying? I got one spider, and it's a pinstripe spider that doesn't show any signs of anything, but it is a spider, and I'm not selling it to a breeder. I'm not doing it because I don't want them to have to fucking cull an animal.
I need that spider, bro.
Well, you want a pinstripe spider? But you want to make a super
A
pin?
deer eating a snake? That's weird. But I've seen a video of a deer eating like a chipmunk. And he said grass fed my ass, and it was eating a chipmunk. I didn't see it eating a snake, but I guess they probably would.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
image.
do you know that's the theory on how if you take aliens out, and they explain how men got smarter, they blame it on cooking the meat. When we started cooking the meat, it started giving our bodies what we needed to evolve mentally, start getting other parts of our brains being used.
You use the key word evolve.
What was that? What I do
You use
right?
the key word is evolve. The whole fucking
Yeah,
topic to this is evolve, bro.
right.
Evolve. Just never stop evolving. We don't stop. Just like you said, they found out that science found out, and I want to make a very clear point here. Science, nothing is proven. Science is basically what you believe, because I'm telling you, if you research one scientist and another, they're going to oppose each other a lot of the times, and they're
Probably.
going to
You're
say
probably right.
different things, but they are scientists, and it's up to you to decide what you think is the best way to do it. But science is basically the way that you believe it, just like God or anything else. You have to
Right.
have faith in that scientist that he's telling you the truth, because he is a scientist and he's studied that animal or that topic for fucking 20 years or whatever.
Right.
But you can't, you don't stop evolving. Even if a scientist tells you something, it might not be 100, you know what I'm saying, percent true, because shit never stops growing. We never stop learning. Scientists never stop discovering things. I mean, think about it. Like, we know things now. Like, at one point in time, we thought the world was flat,
Right.
and
There's
now
still
we
people out there
know.
that think it's flat.
Oh, I know, but now we know through pictures and evidence that that is not true. And people can debate the conspiracy shit, whatever. I
They
don't
don't
give a
think it's
fuck.
flat. They think
I'm not
it's
getting
done.
into that. Well,
It's
but
dome shaped.
what I'm saying is technology evolves and science evolves, because without
Right.
technology, science would not exist the way it
I
does
wonder
now.
why we're exploring outer space instead of exploring our planet more. Like
Because
I think
Elon
there's a lot
Musk
more going underneath our feet than we know.
Elon Musk, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I don't believe in the flat earth shit. But I do believe in conspiracies like a motherfucker. And I
Oh yeah,
believe
we
we're
can talk about some
exploring,
conspiracies.
yeah, we're exploring space the way we are, because people like Elon Musk and among others, they are working on getting people off of this planet, because this planet has an expiration date and they know that. And
Yeah,
they want to be able to have other places to go. That's why, because if they explored our ocean or trying to find out more about Earth, yeah, that's cool. But eventually the shit's going to be dead, and they know more than we know. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
So they are doing that for a reason.
I think that's why the aliens we see aliens here and there. I think they come here and do something to the Earth so it lasts longer. Because by all these records, we're way overdue for something to happen. You know what I mean?
Well, catastrophic events happen all the time, such as hurricanes, fucking
Yeah, I mean
droughts,
they can't
all
stop
that.
that, but I'm talking about like this massive like volcano that'll go off and create an ash cloud, that's like going to keep us in a nuclear winter or something like that for like 50 years, and you know
You'll see me
I
on this
think
bitch with a gas mask.
what
Well,
up,
I
kid?
think our only expiration date has to do with the sun and how close
I
we
am.
are
I'm on
to it.
Tuesdays, and this is a new show we're starting on Thursdays. So I'm
I
doing
don't
two.
think
Need them
I
watch
think
hours.
I think the aliens come to observe. I don't think they want to intervene. That's my belief. I think that we are the people that. That's right. That's right. And evolve.
Uh-huh. And evolve. Yep.
Science is the study and conclusions on factors, which is what you have seen with the eye, that you can see. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about the person that invented the microscope and looked at that first fucking cell. I mean, that was science. You know what I'm saying? They was able to prove that cells can regenerate without any dispute, because you can see it. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that right there, if they can show you that through science, then you should believe that. But all the scientific mumbo jumbo that they're saying, you don't understand it, but you have to have faith that they're telling you the truth. And a lot of times, scientists are wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
there
not
are
going to say
theories
that
out there that are wrong, for sure.
Yeah. And then there are scientists out there that are 100% right. But guess what? Our technology evolves. Therefore, that scientific study evolves into something different. And that's what the reptile community is basically, is we are evolving every fucking day to make the benefit of the animals better and to make the image better, especially now more than ever.
Right.
Because I'm like I said last time, people don't understand this law that they're trying to make, this Lacey Act, blah blah blah, that people see and they don't think about it, they don't really care, they think it's not going to affect them. Well, if you own chickens or goats, if you own one cow, they're going to take that shit, man. It's not
take it. It's going gone.
Well, yeah, and people are like, well, no, because what about the people with farms that own all those chickens? I say, yeah, but they own farms. They have a business. But it's not going to be like that for like somebody like me that breeds these
We need to
snakes
know
as
the
a
truth.
hobbyist, and then they're like, okay, fish are on that list. Did you know that law that everybody's talking about,
all kinds of fish, are gone.
No, every fish, unless that if there is no, like, let's say beta fish, right? I don't know if any kind of fish that's not indigenous to your area, if that fish is not bred there in that area where you are, and that shit just it just goes out and it runs its course and they breed out and they can't breed them no more, and then they all die and become extinct in America, like a beta fish or what the fuck ever, koi, then you are never going to own a koi as long as that law is in effect. You are never going to be able to own a fucking angelfish or anything like that, because it's not going to be able to be here.
Right.
Like, they're going to make it to where you can't have that. You're not going to be able to have your little pet hamster or bunny rabbit. If it's not
There's a lot of things on there that are just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for it not to be.
Cats and dogs are like the only thing that you are going to be allowed to have, man. Domesticated animals, and they do not consider any kind of farm animal. Your little miniature pig that you've got running around your house and you love it like a fucking son, they're gonna they're gonna make it to where you can't have it no more. And as Americans, everybody needs to stand up and just listen to what, I'm not gonna say USARK is God, but they're the only thing that we got. Unless
they're
somebody
a place watching for us to rally
there,
behind.
Yeah, if anyone out there is watching has a fucking billionaire and you want to fight, I'll fucking represent you. I'll send you money. But until that happens, USARK is the only thing we got. And they have overturned this before. They have shut this shit down in the past. What was it, 2019 or?
No, it was when I was in. I think it was 2022. That last one hit.
Whenever it was, they made it. They snuck that little law in a bill. What was it? The fucking Buying and Selling Act or whatever, like talking about buying product from other countries and getting it here, like the taxation on that.
Yeah, the import. The
importing laws. They fucking slipped the Lacey Act into that bill in like the middle of all these fucking pages. You know what I'm saying?
And
that's how sneaky
they
are.
It didn't even get read.
Yeah, they just flip through the shit, whatever. They don't care. It's already passed the Senate. It's already passed Congress. So now they're just going to sign it. And they did. And fucking USARK was like, no, you're not going to do that because that infringes on our rights as Americans, and you're not going to do that. So they overturned it. But without USARK and without everybody
with it,
realizing that it can happen and they want it to happen, then you need to like look into it and try to do your best to make it look good to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just try, because eventually it might not. You might not be able to even have the animals no more, and that's sad. You don't want that.
Sucks. Yep. You were talking about conspiracy theories. Have you ever watched the Skinwalker Ranch thing?
Yeah, I did.
Like them finding them anomalies, like vortexes and all that shit. I mean, I think they're on the tip of finding out how to either time travel or jump to a different dimension. That's my dumbass white guy think of what's going on there.
I'm all about Native Americans, man. My granddaddy was Native American. I got Native American tattooed on my hands.
Yeah,
I love that
I got
culture.
Native American blood.
And they are very big into Bigfoot, skinwalkers. And my thing is like the Egyptians, if they painted that shit like Native Americans, they had paintings of skinwalkers and there were tales and stories. That shit just don't, and aliens and everything. To me, people don't have that kind of imagination that long ago, like the Egyptians. I mean, they didn't even, how would they even like come up with that in their mind? They believed that the sun was their god.
Nick, you got to put in perspective of this, that these people had nothing else better to do. They didn't have TV. They didn't have this. They didn't have a simple way to do it. So they put what they seen on these walls. You know, that's them telling us the story.
They all saw the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like and there's some of the same shit worldwide. How is they communicating?
Well, if you look at Mayan ruins and you look at Egyptian ruins, you look at Roman ruins, you can look at any of it. All of the fucking pictures of extraterrestrials or aircraft or anything, they all look the same.
All right, like think about
you're talking about time where there was no internet, there was no way of even traveling to that country.
Even 200 years ago, like that? 200 years ago, that would be like what, 1824? It would take you at least a month to get to Africa to say hi to someone or to get to Europe. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, and we're talking about BC.
Yeah, I think what was it, 1920, maybe it was like 1808 or something like that the transatlantic line got laid. I mean, maybe that's when they first started talking about it. I forget the exact date on it, but when they laid that electrical line or, you know, that transatlantic bundle of wires that makes it from the United States to Greenland and then Greenland to England. Yeah. It connects us all together, and that was only done like less than 100 years ago, or maybe a little over 100 years.
Oh, dude, it's crazy to think about stuff like that. Like, think about TVs 10 years ago.
Think about how we evolved since you've been like a little kid.
Yeah. I got a Nintendo Switch, right? And I remember when I was younger, probably about 10 or 11, I had a Nintendo Game Boy.
Right.
And I mean, just in these years alone, since I've had that Game Boy to now I have a Switch, it is insane, the technology.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to go from big ass box TVs to TVs that are that thin in a year, like overnight.
My phone is the 256 or gigabyte, whatever storage. Do you know how many, like, how much room in 1980 a 256 gigabyte system would have took? It was like one story of a New York skyscraper per gigabyte.
I'm
like,
so
that's
glad you
in my pocket, in my tripod right now. A 200.
Do you know where gigabytes came from?
No, I don't. No.
All right, well, check this shit out. I'm glad you said that. We're talking about aliens and shit.
Right.
There was a spacecraft that crashed. This is like pretty much like, this isn't like facts, I guess. It's like declassified. Like, I work on Maxwell Air Force Base, and that's where they have Project Blue Book. All the files from all the UFO sightings back when Project Blue Book was a thing, they fucking have it stored at Maxwell. And that's where they have the biggest, like one of the biggest space academies there. So I taught all them people. I work in their houses, you know, that they live in. And so they'll tell me shit. And there was apparently, well, this is something you can watch on TV. I just asked them if it was true, and they neither denied or said whatever, but you know what they
did not confirm or deny.
Exactly, but you know that they're winking at you for not no reason. So there was a spacecraft that crashed. Can't remember exactly what the documentary said, but it did crash, and it was whenever, like, right before it's like the cell phones and the computers and shit started having like gigabytes and all this bunch of like, because back in the day to get so many gigabytes, that's why phones were so big and TVs were so boxy, because of the little computer chip things that they used to make, right? They could only have so much, but it had to be so big. Well, after that spacecraft crashed, they re-engineered the technology, like reversed it, and found out that they can make a fucking chip that is that tiny, that's like almost microscopic, that they can put all those gigabytes in. And that's where that technology came from, was a fucking alien. Well, I won't say alien, but it was definitely an unidentified spacecraft, not of this world.
Right.
For the time and the technology, it was not of this world. And that's all that the people on the
maybe it was time travel, though. I mean, it could be time travel.
Yeah, but I thought that was crazy that we don't know that, but everybody has a cell phone, and in everybody's cell phone, there's those chips. And that's where that shit came from. A spaceship. Yeah. That blew my mind, man. When I asked that dude out there at Max while I was in there working on his fucking water heater, and I seen his space suit and everything in there, and I was like, yo, dude, you know about Project Blue Book? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Do you ever I know you can't talk about it, but is this
what up?
And he was like, well, I'm not going to say yes, but I'm not going to say no. You just take it for what you want.
Us, huh?
They what?
They're tapping in on us, the aliens.
Oh, well, hey, it might be.
I speak in their language for a second. I told them it was cool. We're good guys. We got about 9 more minutes, and we made it 2 hours. So we're gonna make it 2 hours. Drago, you've been pretty quiet through this. Say something. What's up, dude? How you doing down there?
I've been
kind of sleepy.
Trip and his conspiracy theory.
Trips is a trip. That's why it fits, because he's a trip.
No, but seriously, like this world's coming to an end, bro. I need to be ready.
I mean, I don't think it's coming to an end in our lifetime.
No,
not in our lifetime.
But I mean,
well, the world does have an expiration date for sure.
You'll see more times of it, though.
I mean, how would you guys do if you had to survive in the wild for say 2 months while the government gets things right?
If the government's involved, it would be hard. But if you're saying if it would be easy to survive in the wild, I don't think it would be hard for someone like me, because I go hunting. I grew up in the wild. You know what I'm saying? Camping and shit.
I grew up in the woods.
When you throw the government in it, then it gets kind of fucked up, because the government's got all kind of toys and little contraptions, and they can find your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
they'll find your ass and zap it.
At that point, you're not really trying to survive. You're just trying not to die.
Right.
Yeah, it would suck. I don't have any guns. I don't have guns, so it would suck for me.
I can't confirm or deny if I have any weapons.
No, I really don't.
I can't confirm or deny.
I know. Well, I got my kids, and I had a bunch of legal shit back in the day I'm not going to get into, but I'm allowed to own guns. Nothing ever happened like that. I'm just saying, it's just, for my situation, it's probably better I don't right now have guns in the house.
Get a slingshot.
I mean, look, to be honest with you, I used to live in Montgomery, Alabama, in a really, really bad neighborhood, right? Like the bad part of Montgomery. And I remember it was late at night, and I had a sawed-off 12 gauge, and people were trying to break into my car, my old lady's car. And that's like the only thing that was worth value that I owned, or that we were paying on, and it was a brand new Kia. And I said, fuck you. I'll run out that door and started shooting at them motherfuckers. And one of them hit the ground. I thought I killed that son of a bitch. And he jumped up and took off running again. But, I mean, I just don't need it, because I'm not going to put up with nobody's bullshit, and I don't want to have nothing to do with no police. So it's just better for me to just, if I have to do something with somebody, I'll just knuckle up. You know what I mean? But I mean, if shit hits the fan, I'm not above going and trying to loot a fucking store and get me some firearms real quick to protect my family. But I mean, I got hunting rifles now. I got guns, but they're at my dad's, like my hunting rifles, like my 30-06 or my 12 gauge or 22 or whatever.
Yeah.
I just try not to keep them in the house because of the kids. My kids get into everything.
Everything.
Like shit that you would think that they're not getting in. You come in the house, the ladder's not dropped from the damn attic entry, but their legs are hanging out. Like how the hell, like
Yeah.
I'm just being, ridiculous.
Exaggerating.
It's that bad. Yeah, it could get that bad, and I don't want to come home. I don't even want to think about nothing like that happening.
Yeah, like I've coming home in the middle of a couple hide and seek games where like one's in the washer and dryer and the other one might have turned it on. Like,
where's Cody? He's in the goddamn dryer. I had to wring him out.
Yep. My kids were like, little string beans growing up. They could fit in tight places. When it was hide and seek, like if there was someone else's kids over or something, my kids were always like, "You ain't finding them," and they wouldn't come out either. You got to find me.
Hell yeah.
It'd be 3 hours later. Mercedes is still hid. Like, nope, I ain't coming out.
You got to watch the young ones. They get into something quick, all these kids dying in pools and stuff.
No, well, I mean,
it's crazy.
On my episode with Elias, like growing up, I paid attention to my kids. You know what I mean? Like I listened to them and talked to them, got to know them. And when my daughter came out to me, it's like, oh man, I kind of already knew, that you was, not gonna like boys. I just knew. I mean, she was always awkward around boys. And she showed signs. So it wasn't even like a big deal to me because I already knew. And I said it on air. And if you have a kid who is gay, bisexual, whatever you want to call it nowadays, and they come out the closet to you, you must not have been paying much attention to them.
I'm just reading these comments. They're funny.
Yeah, it was going earlier. It was funny.
About aliens and big old black and white TVs.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I mean, how many channels did you have as a young kid? Like I can remember like where there might have been 10 channels. And like I will say we always had at least basic cable. And basic cable was 10 channels. Like in the early 80s.
I'm only 30. That's sad. I'm 34 or 35. I was born in 1989, but I'm a country boy. So
you're 34 because I'm 45 and I was born in 78.
Okay. I remember growing up on dirt roads, and I remember when we were first able to have satellite.
That's awesome. Like, you're the biggest kid of them all.
That was pretty exciting. But then,
I'm the one that taught them how to hide. I taught them well.
To hide in the dryer?
In the dryer, like if you're small enough, you could fit in the washer, and they'll never look in there because they don't think you can fit around a spindle. Like,
as kids, we didn't even watch TV, Ken. We was always
we was outside. Like I wasn't much of a TV watcher.
I couldn't even tell you.
We was in the woods.
We had. It didn't even matter. We went outside when the sun came up, and we didn't come back till it went down.
Yep, when the street lights came on.
Rode bicycles, skateboards, dirt bikes, got eat up with fucking shit, get in a mess.
Come back with like, road rash from like falling off of a bike or something, and we just got up and did it again. We used to go down this big hill. It was like a power line road that was paved. We'd sit down on skateboards, like 10 of us, get at the top and go down and try to like wreck each other and shit. Like, dude, we got so many bumps and bruises from that thing. I mean, and this hill was probably like 2 miles. I mean, it came down and then did a big turn. Like, and you can lean into that turn and go. Like, we got down to the bottom one time, and there's one kid hit a rock, like, just a rock with one of them skateboard tires. He came totally flying off that thing. I mean, his skid mark was a foot long. I mean, we was at least doing 40 miles an hour, I'd say, 50 even. I don't know. We was flying.
That's why you gotta present all these crazy ass animals with sharp teeth to kids like that, because kids are fearless. and they're impressionable.
Yeah, right.
So if
They'll
you
do anything.
the more kids that you get
They can
that ain't
still heal.
scared, yeah, they're not scared of snakes while they're young. Man, dude, well, our world would be better if people would stop killing animals because they're scared of them. You know, so when you're a
We didn't
kid,
have
like you
cowbell. We just
said,
had to. My parents always said, "Be home when the street lights come on."
we didn't have street lights.
You had cowbell.
Drago, you're from Louisiana. I'm sure you grew up on dirt roads and shit, right?
That's what I'm saying. We didn't watch TV. We was outside all day, every day. Cold,
Now
hot.
kids,
It didn't even matter. We was riding go-karts, four-wheelers, dirt bikes. You know,
Or
it's
playing
different
marbles,
though.
whatever.
It's different
I mean,
now. It's different now. It's different for me.
Yeah,
You know, when
yeah.
I was like you, when I was a kid, I didn't, man, it would be 100 degrees. I'd be out there fucking skateboarding all
We
day,
different
all day.
influences on the children these days, bro.
Well,
didn't
now
even drink
I'm
water.
lazy as fuck. Like I can't even walk from the car to the fucking house without being, you know. So yeah, if you're young watching this, live it up, dude.
Right.
Because when you're older, it's
We didn't have to drink water. We was drinking Mountain Dew. I mean,
I got to take a multivitamin now. What the fuck?
what
You know
the
what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But yeah, man.
dude, it's 2 hours. We made it through the first episode. I mean, we don't have to get off right this second, but we said at least 2 hours. We made it 2 hours.
I'm
This is
moving this
interesting.
weekend, so I probably need to get some sleep, man. I'm moving into this old ass house, and it's got a huge fucking sunroom. It's
Right.
like it's inside. It's like an indoor sunroom thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it my reptile room, so I'm excited
Yeah.
to do a tour
It's got
when
windows
I get
all around
everything.
it.
Do I know?
It's got windows around it.
It has windows all around it except for the walls that join the indoor walls. You know what I mean? It's got 2 sets of French doors that go into it. The house is over 100 years old, but I'm
That
gonna
was
get in
definitely
it and
a
everything.
good thing being a bad boy growing up. You wanted to be a bad boy.
Because my room right now is super duper tiny, and
Right.
like me and Morgan will get in here, and I'll be doing the babies, and she'll be doing the other ones, and it's just we'll be bumping into each other, and it just gets too much, and it's not enough room. You know what I mean? So I'm excited
Right.
about that. I really pretty stoked about that room,
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
and it's got a garage. So I'm thinking about this winter trying to get in touch with somebody to get some fucking like breeder rats, like established rat, like a couple females and a couple males or whatever. I got to get the ratios, you know, to what
Well,
I
I'm
need.
sure Dragos ain't that far of a drive from you. You're down there right next to each other.
Halfway.
Maybe
And that's
halfway.
what
Yeah.
that's what I was going to tell him. We do need to get up because I mean Louisiana ain't that damn far. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We'll
But,
maybe get
yeah.
halfway or something.
Hell yeah, and like I
Let
still
me
got
know
that
what you need.
pod. We still got that pod, and you know, once all that shit kicks off, when you get going with your rats, I mean,
See, this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? People helping each other, like trading up. Like, that's another thing I wanted to start doing. People's holding these auctions. I want to start holding a swap meet. Like, come on, like 2 or 3 hours, like during a weekend sometime, and be like, bring what you got to trade, and you know, put it on a list. You know, and I'll put it out there and see if anyone's got anything to trade. Like you enter in chat what you would trade, and the guy says yay or nay if he'll take it. And if it's a yay, you go to the side, you meet up, you talk, you know, you get to trade, and the factors worked out. You know, I mean, instead of buying and selling, how about the trade game? I ain't looking to make nothing. I'm just looking for the community to come together and help everything out.
on the trade game, you're gonna what?
Start renting snakes. You know they all want them to their little babies and
Like
stuff.
stud them out.
You have to
I
hear that.
thought about that, but I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I did.
We could evolve that. We could do that off this platform, like the RWO. I mean, if we get it out there,
me and
we can do all kinds of stuff.
Remember, me and you was talking about that, about, you know, if you get something, or if you like, if I need your clown female or something and you don't need it or whatever, you could send it to me.
You're getting some heck clown stuff this year. Don't worry about
I'm saying I could send
Cool.
you something. You could work with it for a little while.
Right.
I could work with that for a little while. I mean, if you just have to be able to trust the person you're sending the animal to. Of course.
Exactly. It's all about trust. And I know some trustworthy people, and I will say there's some people helping me out. I'm not going to put their names out there. I don't know if they would want me to, But I got some things coming for some people helping me out. I'm sending them a female, and they're putting a male to it. And in both cases, it's going to advance me. And I am very grateful to those two people. And it's just, it makes me not really want to buy snakes because I'm going to be making what I want anyways. So I'm just pumping the brakes on like trying to advance my stuff by buying. I'm advancing my stuff by breeding.
Well, shit,
And if I can't sell what's there, my people, you guys in the audience, like you two sitting on panel, a couple other select people that I talk to, they're the ones gonna like make out 100%.
They're gonna make out.
Yeah, they're gonna get together and they're gonna do it. I'm sure there's quite a few people there wants to get a hold of that red beard.
Yeah,
Something to wrap their hands around. Give it to me. Yeah.
Only you, Ken. Only you.
Why not? Someone's got to do it.
Well, on that note, I think I'm going to go in here and love on my lady.
Hell yeah, go love on your lady.
I do want to say before I leave, man, Drago and Ken, y'all are fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is.
I love being able to talk to people without people getting their feelings hurt or somebody getting upset. Or I love that I can talk to y'all about shit and it be what it is. We're all three of us are men, and I know there's probably women watching this, but I'm a man, and these are men.
It's about being a person,
and I'm a man's man. Yeah, you're being a good person if you can listen and have a conversation with somebody without getting upset. And I think what I want to stress with this episode of the first RWO show, go down in history. I want it to be known around the world, brother, that this reptile community needs positivity, not negativity. If you see somebody on YouTube doing something that you don't like, instead of getting on there and bashing them because their humidity isn't right, or bashing them because of what you think is right, message them either on the side, on another platform that's hidden, or comment respectfully. I've commented on plenty of people's stuff that's had stuck shed problems, and there was so many people on there. Well, I wonder why you're a piece of shit because you don't have the right humidity. And I'm like, look, man, like King Snakey, Dragos. I know you've seen King Snakey comment on your shit. Okay, he lives in California and he has reptiles, and he didn't really know what the fuck he was doing. He loves these animals though, and these people were hating on him. And I was like, dude, if I were you, this is my opinion. This is what works for me. This is exactly what I said. I do this. And
oh my God.
Look at that. You know what he did? He fucking did it. And he did it. And if you were mean to somebody,
right off the word out,
they're going to
the word out. We're coming
to anything you're saying, and they're not going to
RWO is coming.
Nice, and you're positive. What you're telling them in a positive way, they're going to try it. And it'll be better for the animal. It'll be better for the keeper. But if you're negative all the time, that's what. There's
no negative here.
That's what you receive.
And let's all agree on this. Let's all agree on this. If we ever have someone else up here and they're being negative, I'm just shutting them down immediately.
Well,
there's no negativity up here.
Let me drop the fucking people's elbow on them for like 2 minutes.
I won't let it go that far. I just boot them out.
Why? It's fun.
It's the snake elbow. It's the snake's elbow. Because
we really do need more positivity, guys.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
And I don't like being around negative people. Like, seriously, when someone starts yelling and screaming at me, I'm just like, all right, I'm going to walk away because I don't like who I become when you get this switch gone. I don't like that person. And I haven't been that person in a while, and I don't want to go to that person.
Okay, Ken, think about it. If I called you that day and said, man, you're a piece of shit for doing that live feeding, you would have fucking probably never talked to me again, and you wouldn't have thought about it. But you know.
We even got snake striking. Dragon's going to get bit.
What is that, a bamboo?
Look, we got everything on this show.
Champagne.
Oh, champagne, okay. It kind of looked like a bamboo for a second.
You better get that away before you get hurt. We got excitement and everything. We got a little bit of everything on here. Up in hell. Up in hell. Up in hell.
She does that shit every time.
I have one like that, and just I pick it up here and there, but I'm trying to get her used to it.
Yeah, I mean, you can get them used to you. You know, you just got to work with them.
Yep, I'm trying to work with her. Is that
This is a little
genetic stripe champagne or just champagne?
It's just I'm thinking it's just like a champagne pinstripe like the mom. But yeah,
It kind of looks genetic stripe to me. But
it's got super oranges on it.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking.
I love champagne. I mean, I love it. People say that it's got neurological problems, but I've never came across that. I mean,
You can't put champagne to champagne though. You can have super champagne.
No. Yeah, you can't do that. No, you do need to research it, but
I want champagne in 2 of my projects, so sooner or later I'll give you something to get it in yours. I'm going to get it in mine.
I'll show Drago that spider pinstripe that I was talking about, since he said he needed it.
We got to show some snakes off.
But I would recommend like not getting it for me, if I'm going to be honest, because I don't really want him bred, because the mom produced ones with neurological issues, or one, but this is him. He just got to where he'll eat frozen thawed, man. We had to assist feed him like, let's see, 1, 2, 3 times. And then I had to assist.
I need the banana pod from you, bro.
He needs that banana pod.
I don't got the banana pod yet. I think I have some that are banana het pod maybe. But like I said, I wouldn't feel comfortable calling them that because I'd have to prove it out. But this year coming up, we're not breeding like triple quad sire clutches anymore. Like maybe 2 at the most per female. That way I can be more accurate on what I know I have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I would just be honest with whoever bought that spider. I wouldn't want them to buy it and breed it, and then, like I was saying, and then have to, maybe cull an animal from that clutch, because, man, I'm telling you, that is a fucked up thing to have to do. It really makes you feel bad. And this is the other little champagne baby that looks very different from the other one. You see those real dark like lines highlighting that stripe.
Uh-huh.
But this one was the first one out of the egg, but it looks drastically different. It's like,
the colors off. The color, like the other one reminded me of genetic stripe. That one don't.
That's why I love ball pythons, because you'll have the same morph of something though. And
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Different.
Like 10 days. Come on.
But Ken knows, man. I'm thinking that whoever
I don't know shit. Don't ever say Ken knows, because I don't know nothing.
No, your show's the Let Me Know show. You know it all.
No, well, it's called the Let Me Know show because you got to let me know what in the fuck I need to do to make this successful.
Well, I'm saying Ken knows. I've been talking to him, and I've been talking to other people. If people buy, these certain snakes that I got, like certain ones, they could have mandarin in it. You know, and it's like some certain things that's what's fun to me about it, is you could get something and not be exactly what that person said. I'm not saying like gender. I'm saying like,
gee, thanks, Biker. Yeah, I'll know. That's cool.
You wasn't expecting, and then that gene comes popping out more and more every year you breed it. And it's like you could eventually do something.
I have to learn though, Blakers, don't I?
That's why, like Ken, I got one of these mandarin, like normal-ish looking in our mandarin.
We appreciate that, Blakers. Hell yeah.
And I'm going to send him one to see if,
Sure is.
So he can mix it in his projects.
I want a male to put with that Orange Ghost hypo that I got that's like already orange. I want to see what comes out of the het version of it.
Yeah, you've seen those pictures. I mean, it's like the rustiest orange, like burnt orange. I don't know, man. It can't be a normal. If it's a normal,
I mean, I've heard of some specters being orange, but it ain't that orange.
Well, that's what we're
isn't
selling them as. We're selling them as specters, the ones that we're selling and not holding back, because it came from a specter. So
I just don't know.
Well, I'm not gonna sell something, and I've said this, and I appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell it if I don't, for an expensive price, if I don't know what it is.
I have the same problem with the Grimm gene. It could be in that clown. It could not. You know what I mean? And everyone that has really gave it a really good look said, I understand what you're saying, and I guess it could be. It just could be this offline of leopard that, or there could be a hidden het in an air causing it that you don't know. You know, that as well. And I don't know. We'll see, because he went to a couple clutches this year. We'll see. We could find out sooner than later, because if I get a Grimm het clown het VPI Xanthic, I'm going to be like, Will, look. Will's hell,
but to know if it's het, you're going to have to breed it back, and that's
because it was an Xanthic to a clown. If it's Grimm, it was the clown, the visual clown, and the mom's visual Xanthic, so it'll be double het.
Okay.
I would rather it be that.
Me and you have a. This is what we were talking about the other night. We have a different concept on what het is, I think. Because
no, it's not that I have a different concept. I get what you're saying. I understand that that's an industry standard. I look at it. The way I look at it is, when I got into this and started looking at things like on the scientific side, I totally seen that, say, a pastel is genetically the same as a het, or a banana, because you was using banana. It is genetically the same as, say, a het clown. It's like a single gene form. And then if you double it, you get the super and the visual. That's all I'm saying.
Well, to me,
they work the same, they act the same. They're
the same. When I hear het, I think of like a hit, like something that is not visually seen, like, because you have heterozygous, you have homozygous, and the alleles to those DNA strands, which is homozygous or heterozygous, like you have a DNA swirl, and those lines in it, that's an allele. Yeah. And so, like, if you think of it like the way I was researched, the way I've researched it is,
for sure,
it breaks, like you'll have an allele here and an allele here. Like if you have a non-visual pod het, and a non-visual pod het, two half alleles will connect, and that's where you get your visual.
And sometimes it lines up, and sometimes it don't. Sometimes it's here and it don't hit.
Exactly. So to me, and that's all I'm saying is, when I hear het, I think of something that you're not seeing, but it's in the animal. So when I hear het, I always say, well, I have to breed it back, because you're not going to know, you're not going to see it. Because even if you breed, like, let's say you breed a pod, a visual pod to a het pod, and you get visual pods, that would guarantee that non-visual pod was het for that. But if you get a baby out of that clutch,
read what Dave said, because this is exactly how I see it.
I mean, I can see that. I just think that when I say het, it's like throwing something off, because that's what I was taught that het is heterozygous, which is not a visual thing. And when you kept saying that banana is het,
I know I wasn't saying.
Confused me.
There was another party that was saying it like that in that conversation.
It was confusing me.
And I would never call it het banana. But I mean, if you're talking about het red Xanthic to red Xanthic, that is actually pronounced how they are. You know what I mean? If you look at, or what's the other one? Het daddy and daddy. You know, that's, you know, daddy, that's the same thing. They're talking about the heterozygous form to the homozygous form. And that's all I'm saying. Like, that all of them could be called het, like het red Xanthic.
You could do that. Yeah, that makes sense when you say it like that. But I think like you said, in the industry's lingo or whatever, and that's why it was confusing me so much, because like that's what I know. Like when you go somewhere, you're talking to somebody, they'll say it's a normal, but it's het for podism. or it's het like for this or het for that. And I'm like, okay, but
a red stripe, het pine, but we're not gonna know if it's pine until we breed it out.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I was saying earlier is that if you have a visual pied and a non-visual het pied and you breed it, and any snake from that clutch is a visual pied, that means that it proved out.
Yeah.
So, but that same clutch, you could have a normal that comes out that's not visual and that's not het pied.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like it can still happen.
Yeah, it can happen. But if you breed banana, you're going to get something that's not banana. Like you were saying, you'll never get a banana.
Yeah. No matter what you do.
So kind of like I was laughing about that because I'm looking at it the way I look at it. And what you were saying is like, exactly what I was saying, but you just couldn't see it. At that time, honest, I was too stoned to think of the right words that get you to understand like I can tonight. Like it's simple.
There was so much
so chaotic.
Yeah, everybody was trying to talk over everybody, and it was just basically a pissing match. So
kind of, yeah.
Like I didn't even get to drop some allele knowledge that I know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even get to say the goddamn word homozygous.
Homo.
But yeah, for real though. I mean, it was confusing me, but it is what it's whatever.
Some notes for the next show, y'all. So.
Well, no, we're going to have some newer stuff, but we ain't going back to that. If we go back to that, we're taking back steps. We moved on. Nick got it in 2 minutes. Like we're good.
We're going to have a badass intro, y'all. Stay tuned.
We're going to evolve this. We're going to evolve
this. Be able to come on here and actually learn something, maybe help somebody out, and
it's all to help. We're all just trying to help. We're trying to set a good old boy limit, image. We're just some good old boys, not meaning no harm.
And if I ever say anything on here and people watching this don't agree with it or want to talk to me about what I said, feel free to message us on Instagram or anything, and I'll give you my number and I'll talk to you. I mean, I am not
I'm not going to yell at you.
Yeah, I'm not judgmental. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm going to say that I might think that it's not the best, but I'm not literally going to ever tell somebody they're wrong, because how the fuck do I know what's wrong or right? Right and wrong is something that somebody says. So to me, I just know what I know is right and wrong. And if you don't agree with it, I'll talk to you respectfully about it. But like, as far as people, and I'm really not going to mention any names because it's whatever. It was a while back, but like, I just want to say, if you have a problem with, like, if somebody posts a snake or if somebody says something online and you might have a problem or you might think that it's not that gene or anything like that, please don't go online on that site that they're selling that snake and try to call them out on that, because all that does is hurt that person's notoriety. And you might not know. Well, I don't got feelings.
Because everybody gets hurt today.
I don't got feelings.
Me neither.
But my thing is, I would never go on somebody's thing that posts. Let's say they post something.
Heck yeah, Dave. We're getting ready to wrap up, anyways.
And it says
you're a real one, dude, for sure.
I'm not going to go in there and say it's not this and try to expose you when I don't know who you talk to. I don't know if you've talked to the fucking best breeder for that gene and he's the only one that has it. You don't know if that happened. So just try to message them in private. And that's what I was saying. If you see somebody doing something wrong, don't try to blast them online. Just try to comment.
Don't try to diminish anyone at all.
Yeah, man.
It's not a good look for you. It's really not. You're making yourself look like the problem, more or less.
They feed off of negativity, Ken.
We don't feed off of negativity here. We throw it away. We get it out of here. We put them in the cat.
We crush it like Stone Cold beer cans, baby.
Yeah. We power drive them right down the chat. Yeah.
But shit, for real, I gotta go.
Yeah, man.
I gotta go, y'all.
Hell yeah, this was real fun. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I think we got some excitement out there, guys. I think we might catch on. We might do something with this.
We will.
We got some good shit.
Wait till we get that kick-ass intro. They're gonna be drooling.
Yeah, we're going to do some fun shit. This is going to be great. Guys out there to chat, we love you. Night off. Next week.